Wilson. Garrett Wilson makes someone miss. Garrett Wilson's loose to the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Breece Hall cuts up the middle. Breece Hall's loose. Breece Hall's gone. Breece Hall is gone. He walks into the end zone. Josh Allen fires it over the middle. Intercepted. Sauce Gardner picks off Allen. Sauce Gardner, let's go. The rookie picks off Josh Allen. Win it. Oh my God. Drops back to pass. He fires it over the middle. Touchdown. Garrett Wilson. The New York Jets tie the football game. The rookie. The Jets win. The Jets win. Ashton Davis. Ices the game. Let's go. Handle Quinton Williams with the tackle for loss. That's a loss of 5 yards. Josh Allen is going to fire up a bomb. Josh Allen. Sauce Gardner's there for the game winner. The New York Jets beat the Buffalo Bills and improved to 6-3 on the year. Sauce Gardner. That's how we get on the ball, boy. Yeah. Yo, what is good? We are live again. 3 straight non-victory Mondays. It's a sad Monday. The New York Jets lose their 3rd straight game and now fall to 7-7. And now we have a lot to talk about. We got a short week. We got a game Thursday. And there's a lot to talk about from yesterday's game, guys. If you weren't on my live stream during the game, and I gave my overall thoughts right after the game, then you haven't really heard from me, I guess, in terms of my thoughts in totality of yesterday's loss. But if you follow me on Twitter, I definitely made a lot of freaking tweets. So, in a nutshell, before we get deeper into the game yesterday, here's my overall take, okay? This was a team loss. The entire team lost this game. The head coach, the offense, the defense, the special teams. This was an absolute abomination of a game yesterday. Now, we had a chance to win it. It was right there. But they lost because a lot of different reasons, right? A lot of different reasons. Zach Wilson returns. And what did Zach Wilson do? He made the hard look easy and the easy look hard. And that's not sustainable. Zach Wilson had a lot of awesome throws, especially in that first half. We were just like, wow, finally his pro day throw. Damn, Zach Wilson can make those crazy throws. How about that? But then he cannot make the throws that every single NFL quarterback needs to make on a consistent basis in order to be successful within the pocket. Zach Wilson was not the reason why we lost yesterday. But he still had a lot of issues. And he needs to be able to, fix his mistakes. And that's okay. He's a young quarterback. And the unfortunate reality is we're in a win-now mindset. This is a playoff game, and we're not sitting here like, oh, yeah, maybe he'll get better. Maybe he has the potential. It's not about that anymore when you're in December fighting for a playoff spot. I want production, not potential. And it's so unfortunate because Zach Wilson has so much flashy abilities in his game where it's like, damn, if he can just put it all together and if he can scan a defense and if he can throw within the pocket and have the proper fundamentals, then Zach Wilson really could be a good quarterback. But the reality is what he is good at is not sustainable in the NFL. His ability to make the explosive plays out of the pocket, the deep throws, they're awesome, but they're not sustainable. You cannot rely on those plays to be a consistent quarterback. And the people are faulting LaFleur. Well, why did he abandon the game plan of getting Zach Wilson out of the pocket? Yeah, you can say that, but I also think it's a little bit of an issue that we have to rely on our offensive coordinator to get creative with plays because our own quarterback can't throw the ball within the freaking pocket. You ever think about that? Like, that's not good. It's not a good thing. So I've been very, consistent with my take on Zach Wilson all season long. I've been supporting him. I've been defending him. I've been, picking him up when he's down, trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. But the reality is, at this point of the season, we're trying to win football games. And again, he was not the reason why we lost the game. He was part of the reason, but he wasn't the reason. The offensive line did him no favors. The running game did him no favors, that's for sure. But the reality is, there were some throws that I'm sure he would like back. Now, when it comes from the defense, where is this defense? Where is it? Now, this defense didn't have the worst day yesterday. But the problem I have with this defense that I said all week long that we need to do is start freaking forcing turnovers. We are not a great defense unless we turn the ball over, and that's not what this Jets team has done. The Jets defense only gave up 13 points, by the way, guys. They only gave up 13 points. The 7 points was from the punt return. I mean, I guess you could fault the defense because they're the ones that allow the Lions to go all the way down the field, and they stopped them at the 1-yard line. But the reality is, when the defense needed to get the stop the most, they folded on 4th and inches. Absolutely folded. And then special teams. We give up a punt return. I mean, it's really hard to punt from your own end zone. And it's unfortunate that the defense had to allow that Lions first opening drive to get all the way down there. They stopped them at the 1. And, of course, our own offense can't even gain a yard at our own 1-yard line to make the punt even harder for Braden Mann. And Braden Mann shanked it, an absolute line drive punt, and a return for a touchdown. And then Greg Zuerlein, I know it's a tough kick, but he missed a 58-yard field goal at the end of the game to force overtime. So it was, and then not to mention Robert Saleh's clock management issue. I mean, why did he not call a timeout? I understand why. I understand his thought process, and he knows that he made a big mistake. But it's just really, really frustrating that had to happen. You got 2nd and 10, first down to Garrett Wilson, and Robert Saleh, he overthought it. He was trying to avoid a replay. So he wanted to hurry up and snap the ball because if he called a timeout, in his mind, he thought that, there might be an opportunity for them to review it, and he was short of the sticks. But Robert Saleh overthought it, and he made a mistake. And that's really what it comes down to. Head coach made a mistake. Offense poor. Defense poor. Special teams poor. And that's the reality of it. I mean, Zach Wilson, statistically, 2 touchdowns, 317 yards, and a pretty poor completion percentage at 51, and an interception. And that was another game that was so freaking winnable. It was right there for us to take and be 8-6 and be in the playoffs right now. But we folded. Chris KV with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Chris. All your donations mean a lot to the channel, my friend. Zach put up 14, D allowed 13. Braden Mann has 5 terrible plays to every lucky miracle play he has. He should not have a job today. Total team loss. Yeah, dude. Also, Zach Wilson gave up 3 points because that interception Zach Wilson had was disgusting, and it resulted in 3 points for the Detroit Lions, which was the difference of the game. So you also have to bring that up. The interception from Zach Wilson, what kind of throw was that? And that resulted in 3 points to the Lions. So, Chris, I appreciate the $5, my friend. Really does mean a lot to the channel. So, guys, please do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up button on your way into the show. We have 70 people watching with only 17 likes. Please hit that thumbs up button, man. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. I know that this is not the most optimistic vibes in the world, but I do appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning into Jets Media. We're going to open this up to a live-in call eventually at the back end of the stream, so stay tuned for that. But first, let's get into the Mojo stock report. I want to start off with the quarterback. The quarterbacks. We have Zach Wilson and Mike White. Zach Wilson, his stock is going up right now simply because, he's starting, and he actually statistically had a good day yesterday. 300-plus yards, 2 touchdowns. He's at $23.99. He's up 15%. And I think a lot of this has to do with him starting. Zach Wilson peaked at $30 this season. So he went all the way down to $20, and now he's back up to $24. I don't know if you want to invest in Zach. If you think that Zach Wilson is a player that's going to be having a long-term career with the Jets or elsewhere, now is the time to download Mojo and invest in him while his stock stays low. Mike White at only $4.38. He's trending down since his injury. And I still think that's a bargain for Mike White at $4.38. And you got the two wide receivers for the New York Jets, both trending upwards. Garrett Wilson, he's continuing his rookie season. He broke Wayne Corbett's rookie record. Excellent stuff from Garrett Wilson, of course. Elijah Moore got involved, had a great jet sweep for a first down, was very reliable. Elijah Moore's trending up on the market, which is a good sign, of course. CJ Uzomah finally getting in the end zone. He had two of them. And Zonovan Knights finally added to the Mojo report, but of course, the run game stunk, and he got injured, and he's questionable on Thursday night with an ankle injury. So we'll keep an eye on for Zonovan Knights' stock. But CJ Uzomah up 13.38% on the market because of his amazing two touchdowns. I mean, the first touchdown that Zach Wilson threw in that first half, that was the pro day throw. We've been waiting for that type of throw. Play action bootleg, rolls to your left, flip the hips, throw across the field to a CJ Uzomah. He catches it, sheds off the defender, gets in the end zone. That was fantastic from Zach Wilson and CJ Uzomah. And then Uzomah's second touchdown was an excellent play call from LaFleur, something that we needed against the Vikings. 3rd and goal at the 1-yard line as a play action, and you got CJ Uzomah wide freaking open. So this is the Mojo stock report, guys. If you want to do me a favor and download the app, simply scan the QR code on the screen or go down below in the description and click the link to download Mojo today. If you live in New Jersey, you can invest today. If you don't live in New Jersey, make sure you download the app because they are coming to a state near you in just a matter of time. So please do me a gigantic favor, folks, and hit that link down below and download the app. Now, back to the game. It's so frustrating because there were so many fun, explosive plays that happened that we can't even talk about. And let's get back to Zach Wilson, right? Zach Wilson had 5 big-time plays, which was tied for the most in the NFL that week, tied with Josh Allen. Just got here. What does the app do? So Highlight Garage, the app is basically a sports stock market where you can invest in any players around the NFL, similar to a stock market. So if you want to download the app, my friend, click the link down below. It's similar to the real stock market, but sports edition, and it's called Mojo. But back to Zach Wilson, man. It's kind of weird that we have a quarterback who is so good at the hard stuff, so good at the flashy things where you're like jaws dropped. You're like, wow, not a lot of quarterbacks can do that. That was fantastic. But then he struggles with the easy stuff. And that's my biggest concern and my biggest issue. I mean, it's a good thing in terms if you want to think of it in a developmental perspective that he's got the hard stuff down. All he needs to do is just work on the fundamentals, work on the easy throws, and work on scanning a defense, and he'll be great. But it's a little concerning that 21 games in his NFL career, he still cannot do that. He had so many opportunities over the middle of the field, inaccurate balls, a little dirt ball to Braxton Berrios. That interception cost us the game. He almost had another interception, and Michael Carter bailed him out. It's weird because you look at the stats, and he had one of his better games statistically, but if you look at the eye test and you look at all the incompletions that he did have, and he had an opportunity to, come from behind, and he didn't. So, that's my thoughts of Zach Wilson. But I also want to make sure that people need to realize Zach Wilson was not the reason why they lost this game. It was a team loss. That defensive effort, man. Because think of Zach Wilson. 4th quarter, around 5 minutes to go. We're losing by 3 points. Zach Wilson goes down the field. He gets us in the end zone to give the Jets a 4-point lead. And now it's all on our defense to hold the Lions out of the end zone, which, by the way, they've held the Lions out of the end zone throughout the entire game up until that point. And then on 4th and inches, they fully commit to a quarterback sneak, which frees up the tight end on a play action, and he gets loose for a 50-yard touchdown. That's ridiculous. That can't happen. That's not a championship-level defense. That's not a playoff-level defense. I understand that they only gave up 13 points. But the defense needs to figure out. They had no sacks, and they had no forced turnovers. They only gave up 1 touchdown and 13 points in total. But if we want to have a defense that can help carry this team into the playoffs, they're not playing like it. One turnover in the last 5 or so games is not going to cut it. It's just unbelievable, man. And the fact that the Jets could only put up 17 points on the Lions is also a little bit concerning to me. And a lot of that had to do with no run game, bro. The run game was a big problem. That's an offensive line issue. You can blame the running back too, I guess. But without a running game, you're asking your quarterback to just throw the ball. They're committing to the pass. Like, that's not what this offense is about. If you cannot establish a run game, it's going to hold the offense back, and that's what we saw all day long. The fact that they only put up 17 points against the Detroit Lions defense that has been not good. That's not a good thing, man. We need to get more points on the board, bro. Like, our defense gives up 13, our special teams gives up 7. That's 20 points. If you told me heading into this game that the Jets as a team would allow 20 points against the Detroit Lions at home and we lose because we can't get more than 20 points, that's a problem. I said going into this game, we need to score 24 points to win. That was my magic number. I said it all week. You score 24 points, you win the game, because I got confidence in our defense to hold them to under 24. That was my magic number, and we can't even freaking get 20. We get 17 points. Zach had a great first half. He shit the bed in the third quarter. The fourth quarter was better, but the around him, the run game was not good. And we couldn't even get a meaningless 24 freaking points. And that was the biggest issue. Very frustrating, man. So there's a lot of things to work out, a lot of things to figure out. That's for sure. You posting a live reaction to the Lions game? I was thinking about it, but I don't know, man. That's 3 straight of me being depressed. And those videos take a lot of work. I don't even know if it's going to get a lot of views, but I guess I should do it. Keep up with the trend. Keep up with it. I might as well do it, right? Might as well. What's going on with the offensive line, bro? We had no injuries. We had the starting 5 that we want. Obviously, we still have AVT down, but we got George Fant back. Nate Herbig, who was the biggest culprit of that offensive line, he gave up the most sacks. So the offensive line lost us this game. The defense in the clutch, the special teams, the clock management. Now, let's turn it around and let's think forward real quick. The Jets have a primetime game on Thursday, so we got a short week to prepare. And the Jets still have a chance for the playoffs. But it's hard to say that with a straight face because the Jets got to win the last 3 games. And we're on a 3-game losing streak. So what makes you think that they're going to win the last 3? I have no idea. But if the Jets win their final 3 games and the Patriots lose at least 1, or the Chargers lose at least 1 to the Colts or the Broncos, the Jets are in the playoffs. So that means they have to win on Thursday, win in Seattle, and beat the Dolphins, all 3 teams that are playing good football. The Jaguars just freaking beat the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, let's focus on the Jaguars before we even think about that because we need a freaking win. And the Jets need to get back on track. The whole world's watching. And all I ever wanted was to go into Thursday night with some positive vibes. The pregame show on Prime is talking about the Jets at 8-6 and how they're in a playoff spot and the vibes are great. Instead, nope. We're on a 3-game losing streak and we fumble. Nobody ever told me that meaningful games in December equals pain and misery. Who told me that? No one. When I was begging for meaningful games in December back in August, I didn't think it would be like this. I thought it would be fun. We're 0-3 in December. 0-3. Inexcusable. Can't happen. You're not a playoff team if you go 0-3 in December. Now the back is against the wall. Now you have to win out to have any chance of the playoffs. So here we are. This Jets defense is proving to be a little overrated. This offense has not been able to find a rhythm with an inconsistent play at quarterback. It's a revolving door at quarterback. It's hard for the wide receivers and the offensive line to get into a rhythm when you have Mike White and then you have Flacco and then you have Zach Wilson. I mean, why can't we ever just have one quarterback play for a whole season? Is that too much to freaking ask? Yes, it is. We couldn't even score more than 20 points on the Lions, dude. That's just unexplainable. Unbelievable. So, guys, do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up button, guys. We have 37 likes with over 110 people watching. It would mean a lot to me, guys, if you can hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you're new to the channel. We're just getting started here on the Jets Media, Jets Lions breakdown. Your boy's a little emotional. Your boy's a little frustrated. We have 3 straight Mondays without a victory Monday to celebrate. Are we out of the playoffs? Currently, yes. But there is still a possibility that they make it. But that first starts with us winning. And I'm so freaking sick of relying on other teams to lose for us to squeak in the playoffs. We need to take care of our own business. We need to win. So here's the path to the playoffs for anyone that missed me saying it a couple minutes ago. If the Jets win their final 3 games, all they would need is the Patriots to lose 1 game or the Chargers to lose one of against the Colts and the Broncos. So say the Jets win out and the Patriots lose 1, which I think is the most likely because the Patriots versus the Bengals, the Dolphins, and the Bills. Those are 3 tough opponents. I don't think the Patriots are winning all 3 of those. So if the Jets win out and the Patriots lose at least 1 game, the Jets are in the playoffs. That's the only path that we have, man. It's the only path that we have. The defense is not overrated. You know, unfortunately, man, I hate that it's a fact. I hate that it's a thing that this defense could be overrated. The only reason why I feel like they're a little overrated based on their performances the past couple of weeks, right? They only gave up 13 points yesterday, but where's the turnovers? Where's the sacks? Where's the big plays? If you want to be a championship level defense, a playoff level defense, look what the San Francisco 49ers are doing. They're taking the ball away. They're getting defensive touchdowns. They're forcing turnovers. They're getting strip sacks. They're getting interceptions. This Jets team's not doing that defensively. We were doing that early in the year. Where did it go? Where is all that? That's where this defense is lacking. And their big play. Because if we're just a team that's relying on our offense to do everything, and our defense is, and when I say the defense is overrated, I don't think they're bad. I think this Jets defense is a good defense. It's a quality, good defense, but I can't even say the word great anymore or elite like we were in the midway through the season. This Jets defense was playing elite. They were playing great. They were playing top 5 football. Now they're not, which is why they're considered a little overrated. And now we have to go up against a red-hot Trevor Lawrence on primetime football for the whole world to watch. You cannot consider yourself a great defense if you have 1 takeaway in the last 4 or 5 games. That's not a great defense. It's not. That's a good defense. Because, we're holding opponents' quarterbacks to no passing yards. We're holding teams to not a lot of points. But we need turnovers to help win us games. We don't have those game-changing abilities. And I don't know what the issue is. I mean, did we miss out on Quinnen Williams yesterday? 110%. Did we miss out on Joyner? Probably, in terms of communication purposes. So now the back's against the wall. And if the Jets won yesterday, we'd be the 7th seed in the AFC. We'd have a playoff spot, and we probably have to win 2 of the next 3 games to get into the playoffs. Now we have to win all 3 and hope for a Patriots loss. I also got to give the Lions some credit here. They played hard. Jared Goff is definitely a good quarterback. He knows where the ball needs to go. He gets rid of the ball fast. They got a stout offensive line. I mean, that play call on 4th and inches was a great play call. The Jets were fully committed to the quarterback sneak, and the Lions knew that they would be committed to that. So they called that play, which was an excellent play call from the Lions' perspective. And unfortunately for the Jets, they weren't ready for it, and they gave up that explosive play. They played with a lot of heart. They played with a lot of dignity. And the Lions, you got to give them credit. They started 1-6. Now they're 7-7. And, sometimes you got to tip your cap to the opponent, but that's not me making an excuse for this Jets team. But that's the reality of it, man. Both the Lions and the Jets have been, bad for a long, long time. And it's unfortunate that the Jets continuously has to be bad. We are sitting at 500. We still got a lot of opportunities. But now the Jets have their back against the walls. And now they have to go up against the red-hot Jacksonville Jaguars. Luckily, Quinnen Williams will be returning Thursday, most likely. Corey Davis will be returning, most likely. Zonovan Knight has an ankle issue, so he might not play. He's questionable. Mike White is still being evaluated. If I had to guess, Zach Wilson's going to play. So we got the Zach Wilson versus Trevor Lawrence game finally. Again, they versed each other last year. Zach Wilson beat him, but this Jaguars team is playing completely different under Doug Peterson than they were under Meyer last year. And there is still a possibility that this Jets team makes the playoffs, and I still have hope. I'm not losing hope. I'm not losing my belief. I'm not going to stop. You guys know me. I'm an optimist, and I got a lot of faith in my squad handling adversity. I'm hopeful that Robert Saleh will learn from that mistake. He knows that he needs to call a timeout and not overthink things down the stretch if that opportunity rises again. I'm hopeful that this defense can start creating turnovers and get to the quarterback more consistently. And if their name is called to win the game like the defense was, they got to pull through. And I'm hopeful that the defense can learn from that because the defense had a chance to win the Jets the game and they folded. And I'm also hopeful that this offense can take care of the football and score more points. And the special teams. By the way, guys, the special teams was a big reason why we were winning earlier in the year. So it's not like this special teams is just trash. That's not the case. They're in a little funk right now. So I got confidence in Boyer to get them out of that. And it's just frustrating. You can't put your finger at one person to blame on this loss. This is a team L. And that's the frustrating part about it. And it's another loss that you think back on and you're like, damn, we had that right in the palms of our hands. We had a W right there. It was 17-13. We just needed a defensive stop with 4 minutes to go. Less than 4 minutes to go. And we folded. Absolutely folded. And that's what's really frustrating because usually it's the offense that can't come back and win the games. Well, the offense, you got to give it credit in the clutch. Zach Wilson came out there. He scored a touchdown to give the Jets the lead. He gave the defense a chance to win the game. The defense folded. And then the offense had a good chance to go tie the game to force overtime. 3 timeouts, a minute and a half to go. And Zach Wilson made good throws on that last drive. He also had bad throws on that drive. But he gave the Jets a chance to have a 58-yarder, which should have been way closer than 58 yards if Robert Saleh did not call, or rather, if he did call a timeout. So there's so many pieces to the game where you can pick apart. So many pieces. How about Jeff Smith real quick? Jeff Smith replaces Mims, and he had a great game. And the refs are another conversation, bro, and I'm not blaming the refs for the Jets' loss. We have to play better. But where is the PI? Where is the penalties going in our favor? Jeff Smith gets tackled in the end zone as he's trying to get the touchdown, which, by the way, was a pretty good throw from Zach Wilson. If Jeff Smith wasn't interfered, that would have been a touchdown if he caught it. It would have been right over the shoulder, touchdown. Instead, we got 3 points instead of 7, so that's a 4-point swing. If you're an offense that doesn't have a run game, if you're a team that does not win the turnover battle, if you cannot win in the trenches, you're going to lose. We cannot rely on this Jets team to win games down the stretch if we lose the turnover battle, if we lose in the trenches. And we have a quarterback who is playing so all over the place where you can't even evaluate the man. It's like, wow, that touchdown he had at CJ Uzomah, that was awesome. Whoa, that bomb he had to Jeff Smith before half, that was great. Oh, that throw he had to Garrett Wilson down the sideline. But then you go back and rewatch the film and you're like, why can't he hit a throw over the middle of the field? Why can't he step back into his throws and hit Garrett Wilson in stride that we've seen Mike White do 10 times? And it's so crazy because if you want to compare Mike White to Zach Wilson, they are so polar opposites, where Zach Wilson can do these remarkable things that you're just like, wow, that's different. There's not a lot of quarterbacks that can do that. But then Mike White, what he does so well is what an NFL quarterback should do. Stand tall in the pocket. Don't get avoided by the pressure in your face. Be able to look through your reads quickly and decisively. Have the right fundamentals and mechanics, and let it rip over the middle of the field. If you can, and I tweeted this, if you can merge Zach Wilson and Mike White into the same quarterback, we might have our franchise guy. And what I mean by that is you combine Zach Wilson's athleticism, his ability to do off-schedule plays, his ability to throw off platform, his mobility, his escapability in the pocket, and his throw power down the field. If you combine that with Mike White's fundamentals, his mechanics, his mind, his ability to process things quickly, and his ability to know where the ball needs to go down the middle of the field, that's a great quarterback. So I'll ask you guys a question. Would you rather have a quarterback that can make the wow, flashy, awesome, off-platform throws that are highlights, but also can't make the simple throws that you need every single quarterback to make, or a quarterback that can make all the easy throws, that can scan a defense, spread the ball around, get your playmakers involved, but his problem is not being able to make off-schedule plays, not being able to be mobile at all, no athleticism, and no ability to escape. That's the difference of these two quarterbacks. It's so one way or the other. Which quarterback would you prefer? The flashy stuff from Zach is so awesome. And it's so frustrating that if he can just hit the easy stuff, we would have a franchise quarterback with Zach Wilson. But he can't do the easy stuff. He makes the hard look easy and the easy look hard. That makes no sense. How's that even possible? Now, the one thing I will say is Zach Wilson is still young. And if you look at it from a long-term perspective, in a developmental mindset, we might have something. Because he does have all the tangibles to be great with the off-platform cool stuff. And it's like, okay, he doesn't need to work on the hard stuff in the offseason. He just needs to work on the easy stuff in the offseason. And if he can get the easy stuff to click, then yeah, Zach Wilson has a lot of potential to be a good quarterback. Well, guess what? The Jets are right in a playoff hunt, and we cannot rely on potential. We need production. That's the issue right now, talking about today. I still think that Zach Wilson has potential to figure it out for the long run, whether it's with the Jets or another team. But if you're talking about today, you're talking about the Jets' playoff chances. I don't want to rely on potential. I want to rely on production. And Mike White, in my opinion, gives this Jets team the best chance to win. And if that means Zach Wilson goes into the offseason this year and he somehow wins the job and he's a starter next year and he breaks out in year number 3, sign me the hell up. But I can't rely on that anymore. I'm not going to start, blindly have faith. I'm over that. Okay? You guys hear me always just I give people the benefit of the doubt, and I do. But if you have a quarterback that makes the hard stuff look easy and the easy stuff look hard, that's a freaking paradox. That's like doesn't make sense. My guy in the chat says, I'm friends with Jack in real life. What's good, bro? Did you go to Buffalo or are you from Long Island? How do you know Jack? Jack should be joining the stream soon. I'm not sure if he is. Ali's in the chat. What's good, Ali? The Jets broke Richie. Yeah, dude, they did. They broke me, man. They broke me. Because they gave us a tease. They gave us a 7-4 start. A 5-2 start. And all I wanted was a December meaningful games. But no one told me it turns into failure. Jay says, you are right. Zach has the raw tools. Nice flashes of talent. Give him a few years to develop. He might have some of the good Mike White attributes. White is playing ceiling ball. No more upside. Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. I feel like Mike White, we know what we're getting from him, where Zach Wilson's a wild card, where it's like he can be sensational, but he can't make the easy stuff. And if you're a quarterback that relies on not making the easy stuff, I don't know what to tell you, man. And we saw Mike White against the Chicago Bears, who are a bad defense, tear them up for 3 touchdowns. And then we see Mike White against the Vikings and the Bills, who are better teams, not able to score. I don't know. I feel like Mike White against the Lions team. I mean, listen, Zach Wilson had 2 touchdowns. He scored twice. But 17 points against a Detroit Lions team at home is freaking inexcusable, no matter how you cut it. And I don't want to start pointing fingers and make this a quarterback debate because I'm sick of that nonsense, okay? I'm sick of it. I hate that we have Jets fans colliding and butting heads about debates. We're all in this together. We all want the same thing. I can give 2 craps who the hell the quarterback is. I just want to win football games. That's all I care about. All I freaking care about is W's and a playoff. And now the Jets will have the whole world watch them on Thursday, dude. I don't care who the quarterback is. I root for W's. I don't have personal, relationships with any individual player. If you put on a New York Jets uniform and you play under center, I'm rooting for you. Now, if you're Joe Flacco, I'll be upset because I don't want to see Joe Flacco out there, but I'll still be rooting for Flacco, right? If it's Mike White, I'm rooting for you, Mike. If it's Zach Wilson, I'm rooting for you, Zach. I mean, the reality is, guys, if you want to think about the collapse of the season so far, this 3-game losing streak, think back to how we were winning. When we were 7-4, why were we 7-4? Let's break it down. It's because we had a dominant running attack. And don't forget, when we beat the Buffalo Bills, we didn't have Breece Hall and Elijah Vera Tucker in that game. And we won that game by running the ball in the 4th quarter. We won that game with defense and forcing turnovers. Picked off Josh Allen twice, sacking him 5 times. That's how we beat the Bills. We won the turnover battle. And the 4th quarter, remember when we literally ran 8 straight times, backed up in our own end zone? That's disappeared. The formula of the New York Jets' identity and their success has disappeared. We don't know how to win if we cannot run the ball. We don't know how to win if we cannot force turnovers on defense. We don't know how to win if we cannot play as special teams. The unfortunate reality is, guys, that the three phases of the ball that has been our identity to winning, which is running the football, playing defense, and special teams, has disappeared. That's the reason why. It really is. You can say it's Mike White or Zach Wilson all you freaking want, but take the quarterback out of the discussion for a second and evaluate what's been going wrong with this team. That's it. That's why the Jets start off 7-4. It's because they had a dominant running attack with Breece Hall early on. They had a dominant defense getting sacks and forcing turnovers. They had a dominant special teams that was hitting all their field goals, winning the field position battle, having fake punts, getting blocked punts. That's all gone. All of it gone. So that's on the coaching as well as the players and execution. So that's my point. The identity of the Jets has disappeared. The formula to winning is no more. Now, they have 3 more weeks to prove that formula to come back because that's what it's all about. And it's frustrating. Now, if the Jets want to get crazy, and it's so hard for me to say with a straight face that they can win 3 in a row. I mean, we can't even win 1, right, in the last 3 weeks. But you want to go into the postseason hot. And if the Jets want to do something crazy and save our fan base from misery for a whole offseason, how about you win Thursday, okay? And give this Jets team an actual chance. How about you win the game on Thursday against a really good Jacksonville Jaguars team that's playing great football? Oh, man. Sorry for the rant, guys. It's just so infuriating, man. A lot of 3rd and long yesterday. Yes, George. That has to do with the offensive line not protecting Zach, and also has to do with Zach not getting rid of the ball. Because as bad as the offensive line was with Mike White, he still got rid of the ball fast to avoid sacks. And that's the one thing about Zach Wilson that he needs to fix is being able to go through your reads and get rid of the football efficiently. And you can't do that. Can't do it. I mean, it's like we had a chance to force overtime, and Zach Wilson converted 2 big-time conversions, but he still was the reason why they were in shitty situations to begin with. And that's the reality of it. When you're a quarterback that puts your team in shitty situations because you cannot hit the easy throws and you take bad sacks, but then you bail out the offense by getting an explosive play, that's not sustainable. Not sustainable, bro. It's really not. And that's the reality of it. Now, can Zach Wilson learn from it and just destroy the Jaguars on Thursday? I have no freaking clue. I hope he does more than anybody else. I want Zach Wilson to just go off for 4 touchdowns and 400 yards on Thursday night. But I'm not expecting that whatsoever. Darth Cat, thank you, man, for the $2. I appreciate you, bro. We can't be successful having Zach Wilson run scared out of pocket. That stresses offensive line too much, not knowing where he's going. Facts, bro. Facts. Tell Jack Brandon says hello. I will, bro. I definitely will. He should be joining, but I don't know if he is anymore. I got you, Brandon. Thank you for the donation, my friend. A lot of things can be true at the same time. Zach Wilson did not lose us the game. He was part of the reason why. The defense didn't lose us the game. They were part of the reason why they lost. The special teams didn't lose us the game. They were part of the reason why they lost. The head coach and the offensive coordinator wasn't the reason why they lost, but they were part of the reason why they lost. Equals a team L. Oh my God. It's a team L. Stop blaming one individual or one phase of the ball for yesterday's loss. The entire squad has to take accountability, man. The entire squad. This was a team L. This was not on Zach Wilson. This was not on the defense. This was not on the special teams. It was not on the head coach and the offensive coordinator. It was on all of them. All of them. Every single one of them. Clock management, bad. Offensive coordinator, great first half, and then he abandoned what Zach Wilson does great in the second half. But then at the same time, it's like, oh, you can't even call plays for your own quarterback to throw the ball from the pocket? That's the oxymoron that I'm having. It's like a paradox. You want the offensive coordinator to call these design rollouts, but like, how much is that sustainable? I mean, we don't even have a quarterback that we have confidence in to throw the ball from the pocket. I agree with LaFleur should have kept up with the first half of the game plan, getting Zach Wilson on the move. But then you think about it logistically speaking here, guys. Oh, wait, we don't have a quarterback that can just make a throw from the pocket over the middle of the field. That's an issue. And the offensive line is also not helping out the situation where Zach Wilson's trying to throw from the pocket, and there is no freaking pocket to throw from because the offensive line is trash. So there's a lot of things that's freaking killing me, man. And by the way, there was a clean pocket on a throw for Zach Wilson that he missed that probably could have won us the game. Last drive, clean pocket. Zach Wilson had all day, and it looked pretty good. And his throw, his mechanics were great. He missed Braxton Berrios. Over the middle of the field, Braxton Berrios was behind two defenders. If Zach Wilson hits Braxton Berrios in stride on that play with a perfectly clean pocket, that's a touchdown or it's overtime, and Zach missed the throw. So I know that there's not a consistent pocket for Zach Wilson. And then you get frustrated. So we're going to bring in Jack now as my blood's boiling. Hold on, Jack. I can't hear you. Sorry, that's on my end.
Can you hear me now?
Yo?
Yo.
I got you. What's up, man?
Yeah. I mean, where do we start? You could literally go through every single phase of the Jets and give a reason why they helped lose us the game yesterday. So
it's a lot of fun. I've been doing it for 45 minutes.
Pretty much wherever you want to begin. I mean, I guess I'll piggyback off of what you were saying about LaFleur real quick. Because I think, he stinks. I don't know how else to say it. What up, George? I'm really trying to hold it back today, man, because like I could explode right now. I could pop my top. But I'm not going to let the Jets affect my physical and mental health in a negative way more than it already does without me, even thinking about it. So I'm really trying to hold it under wraps today. But I'll probably go off at some point for sure.
Smart.
But piggybacking on Mike LaFleur, I think he stinks, man. I think that, like you mentioned, not being able to call plays for Zach Wilson. And then think about when Mike White's in there at quarterback and we're still struggling to score touchdowns. I think the offensive coordinator is totally in over his head. I think he has been since he got the job. I think he's overrated because of his last name. Yeah, he has some moments here and there, but he's much more consistently bad than he is consistently good. And the offense struggles because of that. We don't score touchdowns. It's a problem. And I think that starts with him and his staff. Obviously, it's a totally different quarterback situation with Zach Wilson than it is to Mike White. But how successful have we been at scoring the ball with Mike White? We've been able to move the ball down the field, and we've played two great teams with Mike White against the Vikings and the Bills. But the offense needs to be able to score points. The offense needs to get better in every phase of the game. The running game has not been the same since Breece Hall and AVT got injured. We like to convince ourselves that it is all the time with mentioning guys like Nate Herbig and Bam Knight. The running game was nowhere to be found yesterday. It was pathetic on that front. Zach Wilson, I mean, I don't care about the big plays he made. When for every big throw, there was 3 uncatchable balls that would have helped us, keep moving the ball down the field. So he stinks. I mean, I think the jury's officially out on him. I don't see a future for the New York Jets with Zach Wilson as QB1 pretty much at all. Call it what you will, but we all watched the same game yesterday. There was multiple times where Zach Wilson sailed balls that could have easily been caught for nice gains, especially the one to Braxton Berrios at the end of the game. As you mentioned before I joined the stream, you could see the frustration on Garrett Wilson's face when he missed what should have been an easy throw and catch to advance the ball on a 3rd down, I believe that was. And it was just missed throw after missed throw after missed throw, terrible interception. And
Cost
then
3 points,
of course, and then rounding it out with the special teams and the defense. Obviously, we still got a lot of love for this Jets defense. Turnovers are a non-factor. We can't force a turnover to save our lives unless it's against the shitty Chicago Bears at the end of the game when it's already sealed up. We get how about this lack of complete and utter pass rush without Quinn and Williams? I mean, where are these guys on the edge? Carl Lawson had a nice pressure yesterday. Where are these guys on the edge? Bryce Huff was quiet yesterday. Carl Lawson was quiet yesterday. The entire defensive front was extremely quiet without Big Q. And he's about to make a shit ton of money this offseason because it is so clear that we need that guy to really generate the pass rush that we've been having. 0 sacks against I'm not taking anything away from the Detroit Lions offensive line. I know they're one of the best in the league. Their offense in general has been lights out for, the last 6 or 7 games now. But Jared Goff, you give any NFL quarterback as much time to throw the ball as Jared Goff had yesterday, and he's going to find the open man and move the chains 9 times out of 10, and Jared Goff had all day long to throw every single time he dropped back to pass. And we were getting burned by little, play action, tight end, flat routes all over the place. We were getting Jordan Whitehead got absolutely blasted in man coverage. Michael Carter II looked like shit in man coverage. And then obviously the defensive woat play of the game, giving up a 50-yard touchdown to a no-name tight end on 4th and inches. It was just a disgrace. And then piggyback that quickly into the special teams. I'm done with Braden Mann, dude. You're telling me there's not a couple hundred punters out there waiting for their opportunity in the NFL? I mean, there's no way Braden Mann can be, the answer at punter if he's going to have one good kick and then shank, pretty much every other punt. And then the punt coverage as well. Obviously the egregious letting up of the touchdown, letting the Lions get first blood, score a touchdown on special teams. But how about, I love Braxton Berrios, and I'm trying to remain loyal to my guy Braxton. But when's the last time we saw Braxton do anything with the ball in his hands? Anything, whether it's as a receiver or as a returner. He's just like not the same reliable Braxton that we're used to. And that's an issue, man. That's a big issue. And even the blunder by Tony Adams yesterday too, almost a great play. And you see that his toes on the line, so it gets ruled a touchback. Just sloppy football. And that's, there it is. Every single phase of the game from the coaching staff. I didn't even mention Robert Saleh. Ridiculous way to end the game with inexcusable clock management errors. Every single phase helped us to lose this game.
Yeah, I agree.
It's sad that the defense, overall still had a pretty good game. We held a good offense to low points, but that one play tells the whole story.
Exactly. And it sucks that, we gave the defense a chance to win the game and they lose the game. But my magic number heading into this game, Jack, all week long, I said, if the Jets offense can get 24 points, they will win the game. And they couldn't even get 20. And that's my biggest gripe for this game, to be honest. I mean, you can point fingers all you want, but if you're going up against a Detroit Lions team at home, against a team that is red hot on offense, but on defense, they're a liability. I mean, they're not scrubs on defense. They're playing winning football as of late, but their defense is not the reason why they're winning. I said, you score 24 points in this game, you win, because I have confidence in our defense to hold them to at least 20 or 24 or less. And the reality is we scored 17. So that's really my point of this. It should have been, more points. And, that's where
I think you just muted yourself, bro.
Sorry, I got muted. But you look at this offense and you see the offensive coordinator, you see the quarterback, you see the offensive line suck. I mean, it's just like, how much do you want this defense to do? Because the defense was playing such good football. They gave up 6 total points, and then the offense does their job finally and gives the defense a chance to go win them the game. And they make their first mistake of the game by that 4th and inches touchdown, which resulted in the game winner. So it's like we're talking about 60 minutes of football here. It all comes down to the 4th quarter. But if you have an offense that can't string together, I mean, that 3rd quarter, offensively speaking, was the reason why we lost the game. We lost the game in the 3rd quarter. Zach Wilson had a fantastic first half. We go into halftime. We're like, wow, Zach Wilson's having good throws. His stats are great. Okay. He starts off the 3rd quarter, duck, interception, gives up 3 points. And then the offense continuously, no points, continuously just, nope, can't get any yards, can't get a field goal, can't get in the field goal range, can't even get in the end zone. And then it gets to the 4th quarter. That shouldn't have happened. This offense should be able to score points throughout the game against a team like the Detroit Lions where they don't pride themselves on defense. So we lost this game in the 3rd quarter, and I said all freaking week, score 24 points. That's that magic number, and they couldn't even do that.
It was brutal, man.
It
was absolutely brutal. And another point I wanted to make that came to mind as you were talking about the defense. Yeah, obviously it came down to that one, 4th and inches, touchdown play ultimately. But how about playing defense on 3rd down? Do these guys just give up when it comes to time for the most crucial down of the drive? Because, I mean, it's tough getting into all these hypotheticals. Well, we could have stopped them here and maybe they wouldn't have gotten a field goal. I'm not trying to get into all that shit. I'm just saying, can we play defense on 3rd down? Because that's been a problem for,
no doubt.
It feels like a couple months
short,
now.
It was just
feels like a couple months now. That's been a huge problem for the Jets defense. And, that's, we're not going to get anywhere playing like that. So that's been bugging me as well is
3rd down offense and 3rd down defense has been a struggle all season long, especially on the defense, man. Like, as good as this defense is, they're not turning the ball over and they're not getting off the field as much as we'd like. Like, they gave up 13 points. Like, that's pretty darn good when you think about it. But at the same time, you expect this defense to make plays to help us win with big time explode. I mean, you saw last night, Kayvon Thibodeau strip sack for a touchdown. I mean, where are those splashy defensive plays that puts us into good situations to win games? And it's simply just not there, whether it's because of Quinnen Williams or not. I mean, first of all, Sauce Gardner, he didn't get targeted once, which is pretty cool. But the reality is, doesn't matter when we needed him the most and needed the defense the most. Like, as bad as the offense was, Jack, they did do their job in the clutch in that 4th quarter. Zach Wilson leads them down the field. They get that touchdown called back when Zach Wilson was initially in. And then on 3rd and goal from the inches, in my head, I'm like, okay, LaFleur, what the hell have you learned from that Minnesota Vikings blunder? I actually really like that play call. Play action, freed up CJ Uzomah. That was a scheme touchdown. And Zach Wilson just floats it up there to Uzomah. Finally, we're seeing Uzomah get the ball in the red zone, which I feel like it should have been happening all season long. That was a good play, and that was a good touchdown, and that gave the Jets the lead. And then they gave the defense an opportunity to win us the game, and they just fell apart, bro. And they overly committed on that quarterback sneak, and obviously it hurt us. And it sucks because all 3 of these L's that we've taken the last 3 weeks are all close games that we can all think back on for a couple plays that hurt us. And it's like we're right freaking there. Like we're right there, but you just can't get the job done at the end of the game for the win. Robert Saleh spoke to the media today, Jack, and I'm not sure if you saw it, but he took complete accountability for his clock management blunders. He said that he had like half-hour sleep last night thinking it over, and he said that he completely overthought the situation, and he admitted that he's completely wrong, and he wanted to avoid them potentially reviewing it. So he wanted to rush and get the snap off, but instead he went over the entire situation and, calling a timeout is 100 times out of 10, whatever is the right move. So, it's good to see him hold himself accountable. At the end of the day, that better not ever, ever, ever happen again, because the entire planet Earth was screaming at the TV to call a timeout. And I feel like if they call the timeout, all of a sudden 45 seconds left, whether they reviewed it or not, say they did review it and it's 3rd and inches, you still got like a couple more plays with 2 timeouts to get the ball into better situation to tie up the game to force overtime. So there's just so many parts of that game yesterday that you're just thinking back on and just getting frustrated.
And that's been the story. I mean, we haven't gotten blown out in a long time. That's been the story. 3. That's been the story of these last couple of these last 3 losses, basically. Is it's a couple plays, bad mistakes that really tell the story of why we lost the game. And that makes me very worried. I mean, my hopes for anything in the postseason this year is pretty much over at this point. But if we want to get to a place where we can be in the playoffs and do something in the playoffs, that just can't happen. That's the kind of sloppy play that we have to clean up. And you look at teams like the Buffalo Bills that are on a roll now, the Cincinnati Bengals that are on a roll, the Kansas City Chiefs that are on a roll. These are the teams that are getting better as the playoffs are arriving. And here we are completely regressing on all phases. So the unfortunate reality is that we're just not there yet. And it's going to take more time. And, just getting to the postseason this year would have been above everybody's expectations. I'm not saying we're mathematically out, because we're not, but I think, I don't know. I'm not getting my hopes up personally.
So if anybody in the chat is
we're just not
wondering,
there.
How can we get into the playoffs? Is there still a path? Is there any possibility? So there is a possibility, and it all starts with us taking care of our own business, number one. And since we've backed ourselves up against the wall here, first we have to win all 3 games, and that starts Thursday, and then it starts in Seattle and in Miami. So that's the first thing, right? You can't win those 3 games, you're done. But say the Jets win all 3 games, the only thing they need help from is the Patriots to lose once. And they are versing the Bengals, the Dolphins, and the Bills. So it seems likely they're losing 1. So here we are, 3-game losing streak. If the Jets really want to fix something, they got a big test Thursday night against the red-hot Jaguars. And I can't sit here with a straight face and expect them to win out, because we've seen a team here that is fighting so hard to get them into the 4th quarter, to be close, but they simply can't get the job done. And I'm going to be confident in this team until they're mathematically eliminated. I'm going to be looking around the NFL. I'm going to be hyping up this team until we are officially out. And I'm not going to look ahead, say we have to win all 3. I'm going to say we have to win on freaking Thursday, because I'm so sick and tired of relying on other teams to do business for us when we can't even take care of our own freaking business. Because if we won yesterday, guys, we'd be in the playoffs right now. We'd be in the 7th seed. We'd be ahead of the Miami Dolphins and ahead of the New England Patriots. And we'd be the 7th seed in the AFC with a chance to win 2 of the next 3 games to clinch. And that's not the case anymore. So now we have our backs are against the walls. I'm still going to have hope. I'm still going to have confidence. But it all starts Thursday night. And now we have a short week. And against a red-hot Trevor Lawrence, who's coming off 4 touchdowns against one of the best defenses in the NFL in the Dallas Cowboys.
How about that, man? I mean, it feels like, the world is just crumbling around us. Now we have, 3 days to get ready for a red-hot Jaguars team. And after, losing to this red-hot Lions team, why should I have any confidence that we're going to go out there and win this game? I'm hoping that they do. But what did we see yesterday that should give us any confidence for the remaining 3 games on the schedule? I mean, especially the fact that Mike White is realistically not going to be playing on Thursday. I don't know, man. I'm trying not to, get ahead of myself here, but I don't know. My confidence level has officially diminished after yesterday's loss?
Some type of optimism we can get heading into Thursday night is basically the injury report. Quinnen Williams is definitely expected to play. Corey Davis is expected to return. So those are two key pieces of this team that needs to play. Quinnen Williams, the heart and soul of that defensive line. Without him, we're not getting pass rush, obviously. So that gives me optimism. Corey Davis is obviously Zach Wilson's, reliable target in the clutch. Without him yesterday, you saw that. Zach Wilson was relying on Jeff Smith. And by the way, shout out Jeff Smith. He was pretty good yesterday. He took advantage of his opportunities. That was pretty cool when Denzel Mims went down. But the reality
that's a holding in the end zone, by the way, as well on Jeff Smith. Should have been
100%.
first and goal on the one. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. But continue. Sorry about that.
No, 100%. That's 4 points that didn't go our way. And that was all Jeff Smith on that drive. It was a Zach Wilson bomb to Jeff Smith, and then a Jeff Smith out route, and then a Jeff Smith should have been a touchdown. And
great throw by Zach on that play.
That was a touchdown to Jeff Smith.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a Zach Wilson overthrowing it. That was Jeff Smith getting tackled.
Yeah, so ridiculous. And I got to say this as well. The pass interference that we finally got in the fourth quarter, I believe, on Garrett.
And one.
That almost, obviously I was stoked, but that made me angry as well. Because when you look at that, and then they don't call the one on Jeff Smith, and they don't call the one early in the game on Garrett Wilson that were both looked more egregious than the one they called. Can you be consistent with it? Can you just be consistent with the officiating? Once the ball is in the air being thrown to one receiver, you can't target two receivers at once. So once the ball is in the air, what else are you looking at? What else are the refs looking at? Be consistent with the play, with the flags, because we got hosed yesterday on multiple occasions. So, the inconsistency from the officiating crew is just, another thing to just piss me off on a consistent basis. And I think it's ridiculous. Watch the tape on any Jets game this year and tell me that the refs aren't hosing us week after week.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely. So there is some news for the Jaguars going into this game. They're, according to the chat, let me double check. Cam Robinson, who is their left tackle, is done for the season. Let me see if that's something. Because, if he's down for this game, that's definitely going to – I don't know if I should rely on some random guy in the chat. Oh, no, yeah. Jaguars left tackle likely out for the remainder of the season. Damn. And he was on a 6-game no-sack streak heading into Sunday. So he's a big, big piece to that offensive line, and he's done. So that's unfortunate for the Jaguars. That's for sure. So now the Jets defensive line better freaking get home. I'll tell you that on Thursday night.
I gotta sneeze.
With the return of Quinnen Williams and their left tackle going down, we better get – we went through a phase where we had like 3 straight games of like 5 sacks. So, guys, we got 184 people watching right now. Help me out. Let's get to 100 likes. Hit that thumbs up button, and then we're going to open this up to a Jets Q&A before we wrap up the stream. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. It's been a pleasure, man. You guys can get your opportunity. And by the way, Jack, someone was in the chat. I think Brandon. He says he knows you. He says hello earlier on before you joined.
Brandon. What's up, Brandon?
He sent in a $2. He says he knows you in real life. Salah's answers to media was great. Yes, he was, man. Salah is one thing about Salah that I love and I respect is he just knows how to handle the media. He really does through the L's, through the wins. He knows exactly how to handle. Andrew says, Richie, I like the video. Brandon Eccles was missed on that punt return. Yeah, Andrew, Brandon Eccles is definitely a big loss for the special teams. But if you're a gunner, you have any idea how hard it is to bring down a punt returner when it's a line drive punt that's like 30 yards. And just talking about that play real quick. You can blame the defense and the offense to, first of all, even be in that situation to kick from your own end zone like that. They shouldn't have been in that situation to begin with. The Jets defense, they allowed the Lions offense to go all the way down the field, and then they got their 4th down stop. Great. Okay, offense, you're starting at your own 2-yard line. The offense loses a freaking yard. They don't even get one positive yard. Zach Wilson underthrows, almost throws an interception for a pick six. And then it turns into a punt from your own end zone, which Braden Mann completely botched. So it was just like a mess, and then more mess, and then the biggest mess of all. So I think that's more of Braden Mann's faulting than us missing out on Eccles as a gunner, because it's frustrating, man.
Yeah, Braden Mann stinks. Like really badly. Pretty much consistently.
Yeah, dude.
It's not good.
And like Legatron, man. Come on, Greg. Hit that 58-yarder. Like, hit it. Like, it's a tough one.
I don't even like, this is another thing. It's kind of like the ending to that second Patriots game. Like, we played so bad that I can't even be mad at the final play. I'm not mad that Greg Zerloin missed a 58-yarder. He's been awesome for us all year. The fact that it came down to that with 1 second is on us. That's not on Zerloin. Obviously, we'd love him to hit that, but that game could have been won, in the first half, and we just let it slip away and slip away and slip away.
You're right, man. All right, well, join in, boys and girls. We got the link at the top of the chat. We have a $10 super chat from my man. Thank you so much, my friend. Really do mean a lot to the channel. Love the t-shirt you're wearing. Let's Talk Jets Radio. Richie, we might need you to go back to the old intro. We haven't been playing well since the change. Plus, I just enjoy how disappointed Jack is when we draft Sauce and Wilson, then goes nuts for change.
I know, dude. The receipts are out there, man. I was not hyped. Well,
that is a big reason why I did change up the intro, because
yeah, I was pushing for that, but Chain Show caught me in the act. That's funny, man. Yeah, I was dead wrong. Dead wrong.
It's all good, man.
But I was right about Zach. Nice. I was right about Zach Wilson. Go back and check out those receipts. I was on the F drafting Zach train for a minute.
You were. So, guys, I take full responsibility for the Jets' collapse ever since I changed my intro. I shouldn't have changed it, and now I am the reason why the Jets have lost 3 straight, man. You know what? Should we replay the old intro to give us some positive energies now?
Sure, brother.
Nah, it's all good. We don't have to do that. But, Chencho, I appreciate the $10 donation, my friend. And, guys, we got people backstage already lined up. If you guys want to join the show, we're going to open this up to a Jets Q&A. We're going to try to limit it to like 2 or 3 minutes a piece so we can get through everybody. And let's go. My guy, John, Richie acting like QB1 out here taking blames for the L's. I got it, John. I got it, man. It's all on Jets media. Blame me, Salah. Blame me. Caden.
Man, Richie. What's up?
What's up, buddy?
What's up, brother?
Man, what a game yesterday. Disappointing, but I just have some notes written down here that I wanted just to run by you guys and just get your thoughts on what I personally think lost us the game. So if you don't mind, I'm going to run through these notes.
Yeah, let's do it.
Of course, man.
Obviously, there's blame to go all around. Zach could have played better in certain instances. The defense let up that touchdown. Brady Man sucks. But in my mind, this loss is on one person and one person only, and that's Robert Saleh. I'm going to be the first to say that on here. I really believe that if Robert Saleh had better time management, we would have won the game. Zach hit Garrett Wilson on that like 20-yard play to get the first down with like near 40 seconds left in the quarter, I think. Roughly about that. And then literally right there from until the next play, 12 seconds ran off the clock. 12 seconds is enough to get you 2 decent plays. And that changes so much of how after he got that play to Elijah Moore, we had 1 second left. If you add 12 seconds, you have 2 more plays to get you closer to field goal range and a better chance for Zerline to hit that field goal. I really see that if Saleh would have been able to see that and would have called those timeouts, that we would have had a better chance to win the game. I personally do feel that it was really on Robert Saleh.
That's a great point, man. I think, ultimately, I think you're right. I think there's obviously blame to be passed around. But in the crucial situation, that we were in at the end of the game, Robert Saleh made a big time blunder. And that can't be understated, man. He absolutely effed up, and hopefully he learns from this. Clock management has not been Robert Saleh's strength.
I mean, that was Todd Bowles level clock management.
I
right
honestly
there.
feel like this was the first time where it was his clock management blunder, because all season it's been good up until that blunder, in my opinion. I mean,
And
the
then
reason why we
for
were
all
winning games was because of the clock management at the end of running the clock out and not allowing them a lot of time. And it was like a part of our success with the clock. And then he has this blunder, which is the worst inexcusable one you could possibly imagine.
Yeah. And then to all the people on like Jets Twitter who were calling for like in the third quarter Zach to be benched, do you honestly think Joe Flacco would have made those plays that Zach did? Hell no. Flacco was washed up. Zach was the only realistic
bench
chance.
Zach for Flacco. I mean, I literally saw that in my chat, Caden, during my live stream, and I couldn't even believe it. Like, you want Joe statue ass Flacco out there with this terrible offensive line to just sit there and just fumble the ball? I mean, what are we doing here?
I'm thinking back to the play where Zach was able to like get it right off to Elijah Moore with like them with 1 second left because he had to roll out and he escaped one of the blitzing linebackers. Would have Flacco done that? Hell no. He would have went down right there and probably broken every bone in his body. It's like Zach gave us the only chance, besides obviously Mike White, but of quarterbacks playing, Zach was the only chance we had to win that game. Yeah. I feel even though Zach missed plays earlier, he made strides yesterday. And I think he will continue to get better. I know you're not high on him right now, Jack. I personally, though, see that Zach made strides in terms of being able to make the plays when we needed him to, something we were all high on for when Mike White did that against Minnesota. He did that, and then he took accountability in the locker room. He showed maturity growth right there, something he did not show in New England. He is growing, and I don't think you can really expect him to turn it around fully in 3 weeks. Like, there's better quarterbacks out there who have been benched and haven't turned it around that quickly. I think he showed growth, and I think he'll continue to get better and stuff in general. I don't fully see this on Zach. I mean, some plays, yes. I don't see, though, that the loss was fully on Zach.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's all on Zach either. And
I hope you're right, man.
I appreciate the call. We're going to get to the next one, my friend, and there goes my battery.
Say this quickly. And there was a lot of people out there blaming the defense. They held one of the top 5 offenses in the league to 13 points. And they've done so well all this year, kept us in so many games, especially like those Patriots games. They gave up one singular play. We can't just be bashing on them like that. They have worked their tails off this year. We can't give up on them just now. They've done so much, and they're still really the lifeblood of this whole team.
I agree, man. I love the optimism.
Amen.
We need the optimism at this point of this point of the season, man. We appreciate you, Caden.
And we still have a chance. Got to win out. I mean, yes,
we still got a chance. It's going to happen.
And we still have to have some help. But look at it this way: did we even think we'd be in this position at the beginning of the season? I didn't. Like, I think we honestly need to be happy that we're even in this position and that we're fighting for it. With this young team.
All I wanted was a meaningful games in December, but it resulted in misery. But I'll take it. It's better than mock drafts.
We are playing meaningful games in December. It's a young team. We're growing. We'll get better.
I love the optimism, Katie. We needed that. I appreciate you, my man. Have a good rest of your day. And I love the
I'll get to the rest of the calls, but we can do this. Let's go into Jacksonville at our best, and let's show them who's boss.
Let's show them who's boss. Love that, Caden. Appreciate the call, my friend. And I kind of want to say this about Zach Wilson, which is pretty interesting. I think Zach Wilson had his best game of the season yesterday. But when you look at it in what he was...
That sucks to hear.
The bar, right? The bar is so low that when he did, like, it doesn't feel great because he's not, like, he didn't... My point is, he had his best game of the season, but doesn't feel anything good because it's like he was so bad beforehand, so it doesn't... You know what I'm trying to say?
I get what you're trying to say, but I still think that, for every throw he made, there's 2 that he wants back. So, 100%. my Zach Wilson hopes are gone.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just speaking it from a logistically perspective of his ability to show signs of growth. Like Caden mentioned, he did make plays when we needed him to the most in the fourth quarter. He had a lot of mistakes in the third quarter. He made big-time throws when we needed him to. He missed a lot of throws as well. He took his accountability. So there is some signs of growth. So let's hope that growth can be a little more rapid because we're at this point where we don't need potential. We need production. So let's hope that on Thursday night when he plays even better. Jets Unleashed, my friend. What's up, buddy?
What up? So
What's up, man?
I'm gonna do 3 different categories. One with offense, defense, and special teams. First, I'm gonna go with the defense. Defense, man, they kept us in this game, man. I know it sucked that they gave up the 1 touchdown at the end, but they kept us into the game. Not only that, remember the first drive, they stopped the Lions from getting a touchdown and even gave us the ball, even though it sucks at the 2-yard line. That's a red zone drop, stop. If they would have got a touchdown, this game would have been more out of it. So you gotta get kudos to them, man. Kudos to Sauce, man. But you know what? I do have to agree with you guys. The pass rush, dude. Lawson, what's happened? We're paying you $15 million. There's no excuse for you not to get to this quarterback. I don't care how great their offensive line is. We are paying you $15 million. That you should be one of the best linebackers out there. So if he does not continue, if he does not do better, he's gonna get cut, I believe, after this year, in my opinion, because that's too much money for him not to be producing more than what he is. As same as Jane freaking Myers too, and then Bryce Huff should be playing more. There's no excuse, man. He's been the 19 plays he's played. He's been doing amazing. But that's it for defense, man. The one time they couldn't save us, man, we lost. They can't carry us every game, and it shows. So, but
yeah,
then
the defense is not all at fault. That's for sure. But they still have to wake up in the clutch. And unfortunately, the offense isn't good enough to the point where we can just not ask the defense to do that much and just take care of their business. But the defense had a chance to win it, and they lost it, and that's the reality of it.
Right, and now the offense. I feel bad for Garrett Wilson, man. I see he wears his emotion on his sleeves, man. You could see the frustration on him, dude. Dude, this Lions defense could not cover him, man. They had to hold him. They had to pass interference him, even though not getting called some of those. I don't know if you guys remember the last drive, I believe it was the pass before the second down 10 or second down, I believe, where the guy was just holding Garrett Wilson the whole time, and it still wasn't called for holding. But I'm just so upset. It's just not only that we should never be in this position to begin with. Zach Wilson is not it. I'm sorry. He should have had 2 more interceptions. The one in the beginning of the game, and then lucky that Michael Collar was able to save him from the other one.
That was like the worst play I've ever seen in my life.
I was about to have a heart attack watching those plays, man. But he's not it. I'm sorry. I'm done with these Zacanias saying, "Oh, you see, he had a couple of good plays. Oh, he's gonna do something, dude." If he did not throw that pick, this game would have been a whole situation. Remember in the Patriots game, we were like, "Oh, Jay fucking Myers didn't do that foul." That game would have been different. Same with here. What happens if we would have gone the touchdown that drive instead of the interception? We would be up by 7, and this game we could blow them out. Who knows? We would not be put in the situation. Again, he did make plays to try to save himself or try to get back into good grace. But if he would wanted this be like the Steelers game, he put us in a situation where he had to go win it because he dug the hole in the first place. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens versus the Jags game. And the special teams just trash. I don't know what's happening, dude. The special teams coordinator, dude, he needs to do a 180 because whatever he's doing, it ain't working anymore.
Yeah, man.
But
I agree. The offense, Zach Wilson dug the hole and he had to try to dig his way out, and he wasn't able to do that. And all the flat, and I said this all stream, all the flashy plays that he did is cool and everything, but it's not sustainable for long term.
Totally agree, man. And then going into this Jags game, dude, I'm scared. I'm thinking we might not win just because of how well the Jags are playing, dude. They upset the Cowboys, they upset the Ravens. This team is lying on all cylinders. They're ready to go. And this defense can hold them. The problem is this offense going to be able to do enough to win? And that's where go ahead.
No, he's just messing with his mic. Finish your thought, Jets Unleashed.
Oh, okay.
Starts on Thursday night.
Yeah, it starts Thursday night, man. I'm gonna be watching it, dude. I'm hoping we win.
I'm back now. My bad.
It's all good.
All good, bro.
If we win, because I'm going to the Seahawks game with my family, because my mom and stepdad are both Seahawks fans. So we'll go into a game. I'm hoping that's still a game that we're playing for playoffs. And if we don't, then you know what? We tried this year, and hopefully we can fix it. Everyone gets ready for next year. So Thursday night, let's go Jets.
Let's go
Peace.
Jets, man. I appreciate the insight, Jets Unleashed, as always. A lot of good points there. Thank you, man. And real quick before we get into the next caller.
All right. Well, something's going on. I'm like lagged behind you guys somehow.
Yeah, I could kind of tell.
Hold on one sec, Jack.
you're
Here,
a few
Jack,
seconds
you
behind.
take the next caller. I don't know if you can
I'll
hear
t-
me, but we're gonna get the next caller, and I'm gonna try to fix this.
I got you, bro.
I'm like
I got
lag.
you,
I'm
bro.
like behind. Something's. All right, take the next caller.
I got you.
Hey, man. Hey, Jack.
Pat B, how's it going, man? Talk to me.
Nothing. Hey, so I think the Jets could actually make the playoffs by winning only one more game.
Oh man, let's hear the math behind this. I'm all in on that, but let's hear it.
So we have to beat the Jaguars. The Chargers would just have to lose 2 games because if we have to be tied with them, but we have to win an AFC game because we would have a better record if we just win one AFC game and they lose out. Chargers would. Then the Patriots would have to lose all 3. Now they're facing really tough teams. Bengals, Dolphins, Bills. They have to lose out. Or we can win against the Dolphins. Seattle, doesn't matter if we win just that one. It's a lot of math. You have to look at all the teams below us as well because they can't have a better record than us. Does that make sense, Jack?
It does. I get what you're saying. I mean, I think it's a shot in the dark, but what you're saying does add up. So, I mean, who knows if that's the way it's going to go down? My gut tells me the Jets are going to have to do a lot more than that.
A lot more.
But I mean, who knows, man? I would love for that to be a reality. That would make things easy on us. But I think at this point we just got to focus on taking care of business and winning these next 3 games. And, hoping we can get in with 10 wins. I assume you feel that way as well. You, as a Jets fan, you'd want to win out as well.
Oh, yeah.
But it's nice to see that there are multiple paths that can be taken to somehow get a playoff berth. But thank you for that, man. I appreciate that.
And then the second thing is injuries. I know Mims is out. Mike White's probably out. Corey Davis is in. Quinnen Williams, we don't know yet, right?
Trending towards
but it's
playing. Yeah, trending towards playing. He'll probably play if I had to guess.
And then Eccles is out. And who else is out? I don't remember now.
Eccles is out, and Zonovan Knight is questionable with an ankle.
Yeah, I did see him limping off the field yesterday. Yeah,
he got a little nicked up with an ankle, and also Jeff Smith, he got hurt at some point. Who is like the best receiver on our team? I'm just kidding.
Yep. Just remember that Masters said that you always want to get better through the season. You're always going to get better the next season. So we've already beaten the Jaguars last year. So we've already gotten better, and they've gotten better. But it's like, you get what I'm saying? Like, since we got better.
One thing I will say about that, though, is the Jaguars are a completely different team from last year. Urban Meyer was just an utterly disgrace. Doug Peterson is the real deal as a head coach, and he has that offense clicking, and I'm hopeful that we can take care of business. We've proven to beat Trevor Lawrence once, and I got optimism. We'll do it again. All right? Let's freaking go.
All right. Yeah, let's go Jets.
Poppy, I appreciate the donations as always, and appreciate your call, my man. Have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, you too, man.
Have a good one, brother. Take care.
Thanks for taking over, Jack. That was really odd before. Some technical difficulties.
All good, baby.
Joyner's also questionable as well. Forgot to mention him. He was out in that game. Will Park stepped in his place. Hopefully Joyner's back. That's all I'll say. All right, we got a couple more callers to get through. Appreciate everybody. Harley.
Hey, all right, guys.
What's
What's
up,
up,
man?
Harley? How's it going, man?
I'm doing good. I've been a Jet fan since 2010. Man, I just don't want to experience 2015 again. You know,
Oh no.
all
Yep.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we experience
Uh,
2015 again, that means we finish with 10 wins and we miss the playoffs.
Yeah, I know.
Which looks like it's possible.
That means we win out, though. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna get into playoffs first. I was watching before the Commanders Giants game last night on NBC. They were talking about how the Jets have a much easier path to the playoffs than the Pats.
We do. I mean, the Patriots schedule is freaking brutal.
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
like,
I mean,
if they can win two, if they lose two of the last three, and the Jets don't have to win out, they can win two of the last three, but the one win would have to be against the Dolphins in order for that scenario to work.
oh, for sure, yeah.
And it just makes me even more mad thinking about those two atrocious losses we took to the Patriots this year. Because we would be on top of the world.
Pick six. Oh, so many
man.
ways we could have won those two games.
I know. We just need one of those games, and it'd be a completely different conversation we're having right now. But it's so hard not to live in the past and like think back on all those almost wins. And like Jack said earlier, like we have not got blown out yet since week 3. I mean, every loss that we've taken since that Bengals game has been down to the wire, fourth quarter. We're in it. It's like we just can't figure out a way to win. And the last 3 games, and hopefully they can learn from it, bro, because we need to start making those clutch
we
plays.
need to start winning. I mean, I don't care who's our quarterback. I just want the only quarterback I want is the one that's winning for us. I just want to win.
That's where I'm at. Give me a winning quarterback, whether it's Zach Wilson, Mike White. I don't care. Just win on Thursday night, and let's have a 10-day miniature bye with some type of optimism and some type of hope heading into Seattle. That's really what I'm looking for. So
I mean, listen, I like Zach. I don't want to see him rot. He's our second pick. It's just that he's not – listen, he didn't play bad yesterday. I'll give him that. He kept us in the game at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, he threw that terrible pick. Oh, God.
Yeah.
That was – I enjoyed watching Zach Wilson play yesterday. It wasn't like I was watching him, go back, drop back a lot, and throw picks every time.
Yeah, I mean, it's like semi-strides from where we came from, and the bar's so low to the point where all those flashy plays are great, but the biggest issue and the biggest gripe I have with him is he makes the easy stuff still look difficult, and that's just not sustainable. It's like really frustrating. He's like he makes all these cool throws, finally gets the pro day throw, to that Uzama touchdown, but then you see, the dirting it to Berrios, not hitting Garrett Wilson over the middle, not being able to, escape the pocket and taking those long sacks.
I like Berrios. It's just that they got to stop throwing deep to him, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's not. He had that one big play last week against the Bills, that wheel route. But since then, I mean, he tried a bomb to Berrios, double coverage, not a good idea. And then he tried to get that. I mean, he should have made that throw to Berrios on that second attempt, but it is what it is, man. Harley, we're gonna get to the next caller. I appreciate you calling in, brother.
All right, no problem, Richie.
Appreciate
have a good Christmas, guys.
You too, bro.
Have a good one, man. Appreciate you, bro. See, this is very healthy for you Jets fans to come on here and speak your truth. This is a Jets therapy session. Jack and I appreciate you guys big time, man.
We do. I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick. I'll be back in 2 seconds. What up, Stoozy?
How you doing, man?
What's good, brother?
How you doing? Yeah, I was supposed to go to that game yesterday, but I never ended up going because I heard, it was just set up. Lions are hot. Mike White was hurt after the offense was, the Lions were on fire. I didn't even end up going. So I'm going to the game on Thursday. I'm pretty excited for it. One thing I saw yesterday I was excited about, I saw Elijah Moore taking, I think it was a jet sweep instead of Braxton Berrios at one point. That was exciting to see. That's how you get Elijah Moore involved.
Yeah, that was that third down.
Yeah, it was good. It was good to see. One thing I'm curious about, though, is that if Mike White's healthy on Thursday, I think that's the big question everyone's asking, is Mike White's healthy on Thursday, which is not looking probable. I would say we start Mike White. But I mean, Zach Wilson yesterday, he had what 51% completion percentage. Not the best. He's inconsistent, but he has those big time throws, those big things which people love to defend. So they'll love to defend those deep throws. Like that one throw was like, what was it, fourth and 19, third and 19 at the end of the game. And
Yeah, I mean, that was a dart.
Yeah, it was nuts. I mean, it was nuts. And people use those, but it's just like it's in between. That's going to win you the games. And people say that the fourth quarter is what wins you the games, but in the between that, I mean, you're missing these wide open middle of the field throws. And I'm not sure if you guys talked about it earlier, but that's where Mike White was thriving. And
Exactly.
Zach Wilson is just missing right over the middle. And it's like it's frustrating to watch because like he has those like 40-yard bombs, but you could have had that in 3 plays, 3 plays prior. With God knows, I mean, it's just like, and don't get me wrong, Mike White misses throws as well, but I mean, the offense just runs cleaner. I don't know what they're going to do in the offense. In the offseason when it comes to the quarterback position, I have no clue. But I mean, we'll see. I know they have us projected as in that mock draft. I forgot who came out the mock draft, but in the offseason they have us. In the draft next year they have us projected to draft that offensive lineman from Florida. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that guy's a monster. But
yeah, I mean, there's so many things in the offseason that we need to figure out, whether it's the quarterback or who we take in the draft. And you hit on the nail, man. Well, first of all, have fun on Thursday night. It's unfortunately the last home game of the season because even if we do make the playoffs, it's not going to be a home playoff game. I think we all know that. So you got a chance to go see the last home game of the year, and hopefully it's going to be a good one, bro.
Yeah, hopefully. So we'll see how it goes, though. Now we gotta be optimistic. Hopefully we win out here. I think it's realistic. I think people are just kind of like, obviously people aren't trying to get their hopes up, but I mean, we have Jaguars this week, which I think is one of the tougher games that we have in the final. I mean, tougher than Seahawks. I think it goes Dolphins, of course. Then we have the Jaguars and the Seahawks. In difficulty level, Seahawks are no pushovers either. I'm not saying that as if they're like this minimal task.
Yeah, of course. All 3 games could go either way. I mean, they're all 3 good opponents that are playing for something, which is not helping us out. And I'm going to keep holding faith until we're mathematically eliminated, baby. We're winning out, and the Patriots are losing, and we'll make the playoffs. I'll say that until we can't anymore. You gotta die on the high road, man. So I appreciate the call, my friend. We're gonna get to the next one and enjoy the game Thursday night, man. Let's get loud. Appreciate you, bro. Another great call. Jack is back.
I'm back, baby. How we doing?
He's going to the game Thursday night, which I just realized is going to be the final game at home of the season.
It is.
Obviously, if we do make the playoffs, which is a long shot in the first place, it's going to be away.
Yeah, I'm sorry I missed that call. I had to take a wicked pee, but
it's all good.
Thanks for representing at the at MetLife, at Jet Life on Thursday night, Stoozy. Appreciate you, brother. And thanks for checking in. What up, Jexican?
Yo, my guy.
What's up, man? What a great birthday that was, man.
Happy birthday, bro.
Yeah, man.
Man.
I was watching at Buffalo Wild Wings with my family, and we had to see the full screen of the TV screen for the Jets. Man, while watching that, man, it was like crazy roller coaster ride, By the way we settled from the fourth quarter and stuff, we were all panicking, and I possibly gonna point things about like the officiating coordinator stuff. I don't think the time management from the last 2 minutes was to where they should use the right timeout whenever they were on a 50-second passing through the first down on the midterm 50-yard line. That was considerably use that time for just take a breather, take a plan B plan, try and see if you could kill time to where you could do score a field goal or something, or make it the score a phenomenal touchdown, which that didn't came true, but we did our best. And the Detroit Lions, I never underestimated them since from the very beginning how they score much points throughout the season, and we basically a great ass team,
Yeah,
and
they're hot.
We got all go ahead. Just we have next following games. There's nothing to worry about, but we got to embrace the turns against Jacksonville, next turn the Seahawks, and divisional game with the Dolphins. So Zach Wilson did not, disappoint from this game, even though, like, we all seen how he does low term mistakes. It's okay. You learn from the past and you still, just trying to be the respective captain of the team, Um, that's I really liked about what Zach Wilson is, even though he kind of stepped down from Mike White and Mike White does his best, we all, you know, determine which is the good QB for this franchise, but I wouldn't, mind start Zach Wilson again for another game or a few, or it depends how good he's putting points up and yardage and accuracy as such. We did see all that trouble as is. But for Mike White, man, from the past games he has done for the Jets, I'm very, very, very happy that that we have it to have a quarterback, has more yardage and stuff, and yet make more completions per yards and stuff. But yeah, just we're not meant to be ready for this season, but I don't mind seeing them in the playoffs, man. But there's a lot, coming to question of this term, the last 3 acts of the game, But
yeah, I mean, it's just the reality of it is we're all sitting here the third straight Monday when we're not happy and we're thinking back and we're trying to think forward at the same time. Mike White doesn't look like he's playing Thursday. That's going to be a long shot. So Zach's going to get another chance, and he's going to get a chance with the whole world watching. And I'm not sure if Zach played on primetime last year, so this might be his first primetime game of his NFL career. I could be wrong on that. So we'll see what happens. And Jexican, I appreciate all the support. I hope you had a fantastic birthday outside of the Jets losing. Sorry they couldn't win for you. But I appreciate the call and hope you have a great, fantastic rest of your day, my man.
You too, Richie. Thank you, Jack.
Happy birthday, brother. Thank you, man. Take care.
Oh, man, it's good to hear from these Jets fans and just hearing them, just the pain, the optimism, the faith, the pessimism, whatever it is. We appreciate it all.
We love it. We love it. We love it. We love it.
It's just we're all in this together.
We're back to that. We're back to saying that, dude. God damn it.
No, we're not, baby. Playoffs. 3 in a row. Patriots lose. Come on. Fuck. Damn it. Why does this have to happen to me? Florida, Jet fan, representing from SoFlo. What up, brother?
What going down? How are you guys doing?
Could be better.
Doing, man?
Are you enjoying the weather up there?
No.
Not really.
Yeah, come down to South Florida. Come down for that Miami Jet game.
Yeah, I was thinking about it,
We
but
were
I have to
talking
wait to
about
see
it.
if it's a meaningful game or not.
Right?
First.
Yeah.
Either way, it's a reason to come down to Florida.
Yeah, I got family down there, so I don't have to rent a hotel or anything. So that's
Whereabouts?
one plus. Fort Lauderdale.
Okay, that's where I am.
Nice.
Basically, everything I have to say, either you guys or someone else has touched on, but I'll just say it anyway. The game, in my opinion, was definitely on the defense. That last play by the defense was ridiculous. I mean, they put all their eggs in one basket. What do they tell you when you're investing? Don't put all your eggs in one basket. They stacked the line and covered nothing. And they allowed that 51 pass. Man is a bad punter. He definitely should not be on this team next year. But part of that was caused by the defense on the first drive, letting the Lions go all the way down to the half-yard line. It kind of put them in a spot. I mean, they couldn't take a holding penalty. That would be a safety. They couldn't. They had to be very conservative. I don't understand, why let Zach sit on the sidelines for the every time they win the coin toss, they always defer. Sometimes, if the kid's nervous, get him on the field, get him a couple short completions. Get the jitters out of there. That's my opinion.
Yeah,
I agree.
I know what you're saying, Jack. What do you have to say?
Yeah, I'm happy to hear you giving it to the defense a little bit because
Great.
they're we can't act like they're playing perfect football. I'm even thinking back to the Vikings game, and obviously these games are ultimately because our offense is not as good as our defense. Our defense is still an elite defense, one of the top defenses in the NFL, 100%. Right. But they're in it until they're not. And then all of a sudden, yesterday they give up a huge play against the Vikings. They give up that touchdown drive, ending with the one-on-one out route, Justin Jefferson on DJ Reed for a touchdown. So it's it's not like these guys are playing perfect, and they if we want to hold them at as high of on this pedestal like we do, they need to be able to play an entire game as good as they play, for portions of it. They can't just give up and flake on certain drives.
How many times during this season when the Jets offense actually scores a touchdown, that's when the defense takes the series off and lets them come down and score?
Yeah, it's happened on more than one occasion, man. You're right about that.
Yeah, man. I appreciate the call, Florida. I agree with everything you said, and let's hope they can turn the page on defense and have a dominant defensive win, because that'd be great, wouldn't it be? Well, appreciate the call, man. We're gonna get to the next caller, and keep supporting the Jets down there in Florida. There's a lot of you down there, but keep it up.
Happy holidays.
Happy
You
holidays,
too,
my
man.
man.
Take care.
Appreciate that. All right, man. We're at the end stretch here. Appreciate everybody being patient in the waiting room. We got 4 callers left, and we're gonna wrap it up after that. So we appreciate you guys, and let's get it going, man. Jet Warrior, what up?
What's going on, fellas?
How you doing, man?
You hear me all right?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
Yeah. All right. What's up, guys? So I get everybody's a little bit upset at the defense. It was a terrible play on that 4th and inches, but guys, they didn't let up more than 13. What was it? One touchdown.
13. One touchdown, 13 points. Yeah.
Zach, man, no, he didn't play terrible, but there are plays that if he would have got the ball to the receivers, we would have been in that red zone maybe almost 10 times yesterday, man. I truly believe if Mike White was healthy, he would have absolutely carved up that defense. Because just look how Zach was throwing those bombs, man. Now, just imagine if you had a guy that was able to give you a 15-yard crosser or something coming down the middle that we see Mike White do constantly. And it's just frustrating, man, that you can see how much of a difference that it is between the two. And I do want the young kid to come through and be the franchise guy, but sometimes you got to cut with your losses, man. And it seems like that's the case with Zach. It doesn't seem like he's going to get there. And both of you, can you name one thing this season that he has progressed since last season? Just one. No, right?
Yeah, I
Probably
mean,
not.
He's looks the same.
He's definitely regressed. Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad, man. And when it comes to the defense, I can't. It was a bad play, but I can't blame those dudes, man. It's one touchdown, and we do it constantly. We hold teams to one touchdown, and we can't score. And after a while, you'll get tired, man. The defense gets tired.
I agree, and that's why it's so hard. Like you can't blame the defense for this, and you want them to come through in the clutch. You want them to make the big plays, but the reality is they held them to 0-3 in the red zone. The Lions did not score one touchdown until that, disgusting play that they gave up for that 50-yard touchdown. And you can't ask the defense to just be completely perfect all day long. And I said all week long, the magic number is for the Jets to score 24 points because I got confidence in our defense to at least hold the Lions to under that. And the Jets couldn't even get to that 24 marker.
And we didn't even need 24 yesterday. That's the crazy thing. Which was the most of the games that we lose. All we need to do is score one time and we win. And most of those games, besides the Vikings game, the Patriots and both those Patriots games, it's Zach not being able to move the ball close enough to even get a field goal. And that's ridiculous, man. And hopefully Thursday, because he's going to play Thursday. Hopefully Thursday, he gets his jitters out. He played yesterday. You get your jitters out, man, and you calm down. He has to learn. You know what he has to learn? He has to learn when to take off a little bit on the ball and when to put that zip on it. I think that's one of his biggest problems also, because when he does have those dudes when they're running and they got at least 2 or 3 yards in front of the corner or the safety, he beams that ball, man, and it hits right off their hands every time. That one pass to Barrios Barrios would have caught that ball if it was a Mike White touched pass, if you ask me, because he knows how to put just the right amount on it so that when it hits the receiver's hands, they're going to catch it and still be able to run with it. So I think that's another major problem with Zach has, that he doesn't know how to freaking take off on some of that power on that ball, man. Because he could zoom it, man. He could spin the ball, but sometimes you got to take a little bit off of it, man. Just a little bit.
You're 100% right. There's a little touch aspect to the game, the quarterback play that he doesn't really have. And you heard Garrett Wilson back in preseason when they asked him about Joe Flacco, and he said that he puts up catchable balls. And you can tell that was a little, that was the difference between Joe Flacco and Zach. Is Flacco, he doesn't have a laser beam. He knows how to put touch on the balls, similar to Mike White. And Zach Wilson's got all the arm talent, so it's really up to him if he can put his mind together and be able to take some juice off of it. So I agree with everything you said, Jet Warrior. I appreciate you calling in from work, and hope you have a great rest of your day. And let's get the dub Thursday, right?
You too, guys. Let's go Jets, man.
Let's go
Thank
Jets,
you,
buddy.
bro. Have a good one, man.
Appreciate you, man. All right, man. We got 3 more callers to go. Three familiar faces. Omar, what's up, buddy?
Take myself off mute here. You hear me, Richie?
Yep. Here,
Hey.
fine, man.
What's up, guys? Jack, what's up, man?
How you doing, bro?
So, Richie, I'm gonna try to go through my points quickly. I know, yesterday was pretty brutal, and I was all over the place. And then I'm on the Richie, the AFC's roundtable Discord. I'm on there, and it was mad quiet. And somebody said, "Why is everybody being mad quiet?" And then a whole bunch of people started posting New England, New England, New England. I'm like, what happened? Yo, we're trash. We're this, we're that. I'm going, what happened? I wasn't watching any of the games because I'm sitting there thinking to myself, we have to take care of our business. If we take care of our business, then it doesn't really matter what New England or Miami or any of the other teams do. We would be putting the pressure on them. I saw what happened. I said, holy crap.
Yeah, I was like I was spam texting Jack. I was like, oh my God, did you see that? Holy
You better give it to Tyson this Wednesday. Oh my goodness. Even though we're still technically at last place and on a tie, whatever.
That surpassed the butt fumble.
That's just wow. And then Mac Jones just getting pancaked into the floor by a former Patriot, poetic justice.
I love that. I love that.
So that kind of warmed my day up a little bit yesterday.
For sure.
So real quick, I just want to say, Jack, I hear what you're saying today about Zach. It's funny. And I appreciate the fact that you've held on to your faith, or at least you've been optimistic or open-minded about Zach for as long as you have. I hope that you can revisit that. I haven't lost faith in Zach. I think that I heard what Coach Sala had to say today. He said, we live in this instant coffee world where young QBs or whatever, young players as a whole don't get a chance to develop. They get killed for every little thing. Before the second New England game, Sala said that he felt like Zach was a prisoner of 4 bad plays, and I agree with him. I do see incremental steps, but I know we'd like to see more. As far as the last caller said, have you seen anything better than him? I feel like I see a little bit better precision this year. I feel like I see a little bit better. Now he made a mistake. We all know that he made a mistake after New England, and he took accountability yesterday. I love his press conference where he said, "Yo, that pick was on me. That was a bad throw. I was reading Garrett, and then I went to Elijah, and I should have never thrown that ball. I've watched the play several times, and I'm like, oh." And again, as a Zach Wilson supporter and lover, yep, I think it's universal that pick was definitely on him, and he knows it. And I'm glad that people wanted to see accountability, where he took accountability for that. So that was good. It was a total team loss yesterday.
Absolutely.
Everybody's been calling into all the shows, all the different Jets shows, and talking about it. Everybody's pointing out it was Zach, it was the defense, it was special teams, it was the coach, it was the timeouts, this, that. It was a total team loss. No matter where you go yesterday, blank could have been better. Insert whatever you want.
Yep.
So I'm a little worried about Jacksonville. Something about all these sub 500 teams are playing lights out right now. They're all playing way better than what their records are. And we got a ton of injuries. So I'm hopeful that we can, figure it out. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what else to say. Like you said, Richie, until we're mathematically eliminated, keep the faith, keep the hope. So
yeah, man. And
always,
I appreciate
man.
you sticking in with the faith with Zach, man, because I know that you've been a Zach supporter through it all.
Yes.
You've definitely been supporting him.
But I'm realistic. I'm realistic about my support for the kid. I want to give the kid an honest chance. If he fails, he fails. I move on. Last thing I'll say is I told Jake Asman this and a few other people. Jimmy V speech. If you laugh, you cry, you had a hell of a day. The Jets do that to us, right? So if you think, if you laugh, if you cry, and then I had that yesterday with the New England loss, you have a hell of a day, and keep the faith, guys. All right, go Jets. Thanks for taking my call, Richie.
Anytime, Omar. We appreciate the call, man.
Appreciate you, man.
Love that. Omar's been probably the most supportive of Zach out of any of the callers I've ever had throughout this whole season long. So I was definitely curious to hear his thoughts, and I thought that he has a well-respected, good thought process when it comes to Zach. And we'll see. He's got the whole world, and I could be wrong on this. In chat, if you guys can double check this, because did Zach Wilson play a primetime game last year? Because we had a primetime game against the Colts, and he wasn't playing in that one. Was that our only primetime game? Like, I don't think Zach had a primetime game last year. So my point is, this would be his first ever primetime game in his life, if that's the case. So we'll see how he performs. All right, so we got two more final callers to go. Ray.
Hey, what's going on, Zach?
What up,
What's
man?
going on, Rich?
How's it going, Ray?
Well, I'm not. I'm okay. I'm okay. Well, I'm no sugarcoat today. Today is not a sugarcoat Ray day. Unfortunately,
I love it.
We got a real Ray today.
So I'm gonna share what I see. The last two gentlemen, they had some good points. The one point that the last guy just now mentioned was that it was a total team loss. 100%. I could agree. Every aspect of our team let us down in some shape or form.
Yep.
So we're going to give blame across the board equally, except for the special teams, because I was looking. The special teams gave up they had a missed field goal, long one. That's okay. That was a missed field goal. We had a punt return against the special teams for a touchdown. That's 2. And then we had bad punts. That's 3. So defense had one play that 4th and inches cost us a touchdown. But when you look at the defense, I watched you yesterday, Richie, and even you was getting frustrated. The defense was giving the offense an opportunity to go downfield and do something. 3 and out, bad pass across the middle. Even Wilson was upset on one pass when he was coming across. I realized that one thing is that the other defenses, when Zach's playing, they know that Zach does not throw a good pass across the middle. Most of our receivers, like when White throws passes, you see guys come across the middle, grab the ball, and go downfield and can make more plays. Zach's hero ball is his best thing. When he gets out the pocket, he threw that deep pass to Wilson. I think both the deep pass to Wilson was when he rolled out and was able to look across the field and throw it deep. That's where Zach, he flourishes at. But you can't, that's not sustainable. That's not sustainable ball. That's the hero ball that he's known for. And he did what he had to do to get us where we needed to go to kick a field goal. So we give him credit for that. But overall, this offense does not function as fluent as it does with Mike White. I don't care what anybody. I know he's the guy that got off was a Wilson fan, but it's not conducive to having a quarterback like that if your offense can't move the ball consistently across the middle. He should be able to do every throw. He's a first-round pick. He's not a project where you're going to sit there and say, oh, we're going to give him 3-4 years. And this, like Salah said, there's a microwave community. It's been set. Look at it. When Goff was here in his first 2 years, he went to Super Bowl. When Goff went, Mahomes went after his second year, even though he sat at 1 year. Then we had the Rams quarterback went. And who's the other one? The Rams quarterback?
Watson.
And it was another quarterback. Eagles quarterback went to Super Bowl. So you can't say it can't be done. So as a coach, if you thinking that this is the way society is, then you don't draft a quarterback that needs help and he's a first round pick. And you have to have somebody that's going to fit your system. You pick that quarterback. So we should not be having to reset a second round pick. I mean, a first round pick, number 2 in the second round. We don't need no mechanic. You're supposed to analyze that. And if you see any mechanical issues, then we find somebody else. You draft somebody else. So you can't ask us to sit there and say, oh, well, it's a microwave community. You know that. You're a coach. You're in the biggest market in the NFL, New York City. When you signed up for this, you signed up for this.
Oh, yeah.
Salah's a great coach.
He knows that. And that's
say that again.
Ray, the one point that you had, Ray, that I forgot to really mention on this whole stream, like during my stream yesterday that you were a part of, the defense gave this offense every single opportunity to come and score points and help to win this game in that third quarter. And the defense was balling out in the third quarter. They weren't forcing turnovers, but what were they doing? They were forcing punts. And the offense got the ball, 3 and out. Defense gets a stop. Offense gets another chance. They get a first down. They punt the ball. It was just punt. And I think that's a big issue.
It is. And I watched. You see, I went to Buffalo Wild Wings, watched the game. I do real estate, so I had to leave and go do an open house in the third quarter. I was listening to you at the open house for the whole quarter. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna sit here and listen. But no, those are my things. Like I like Zach Wilson, but I'm not sold on Zach Wilson. Mike White has been around for 5 years, so he's been around long enough behind the scenes to be able to see the field and everything. So I love Mike White as our starting quarterback. I don't care what happens this Thursday. He should be starting if we're trying to make the playoffs.
Yeah, and of course, he has to have a fractured rib. It's only the Jets' luck that we finally have some type of quarterback that the team can rally behind, and he gets injured. So let's root for Zach if he's out there, and we'll see what happens. Ray, we're gonna get to the next caller. I always appreciate the support, man, and I appreciate your takes all the way from California.
All righty,
I appreciate you, man.
Go Jets!
Let's go Jets, Ray. Have a good one, man.
All right,
man. I love Ray, man. He's been every single Monday. I miss the positive though, right, Jack? Positive Ray.
Yeah, Ray is always out here. We appreciate you, Ray.
I mean, obviously, I don't expect him to be positive after 3 straight losses. I'm just saying.
No.
I think he made
I think he made a good point too. Like this is obviously, on Zach Wilson for playing like shit. But this is a blunder by the Jets organization. I mean, you don't take somebody second overall to have that and expect to have to sit them halfway through the year because they're playing like ass and can't pass the ball. So this is on the Jets organization, just like it's on Zach himself, I feel like. And that's a point I haven't really
second
thought
overall
of before.
pick bust. I mean, if you draft a quarterback second overall and he turns out to be a bust, that's a gigantic organizational failure. And there's no 100%. there's no sugarcoating that. But the one thing I will say about that is I would give this organization a second opportunity in terms of this regime with Douglas and Saleh. I think Douglas and Saleh, at least to this point, has proved to me that they're good enough to get a second chance at getting a quarterback, whether that's drafting another one or bringing in a veteran, or it's Mike White, or even it is Zach Wilson, because, you don't ever know what happens. But I think that Douglas has proved that he knows how to build an organization around a quarterback. It's just a matter if he can get the freaking quarterback, right?
I'm right there with you. I have no desire to get rid of Robert Saleh or Joe Douglas. But it's an
organizational failure.
It's a failure. It is.
If Zach is a bust, which obviously is trending in that direction, I mean, you don't ever bench your second overall pick if he's not playing well. So Zach has to take advantage of this opportunity Thursday. And as long as he gets a chance to play with Mike White injured, he needs to play. I mean, he's playing for his freaking life right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing for his life. And both Mike White and Zach Wilson are. So kind of interesting situation. All right, guys. So we're going to get into the final call-in. We're 2 hours over the stream, which is pretty remarkable. You guys are fantastic. So my apologies if you guys were not able to get the link, but we're going to get to the final call. We've taken a lot of calls already. But before we do that, Johnny says, good on both you guys. Bad total team game. Thank you, Johnny. We appreciate that.
Thanks, Johnny.
Love the donation. Great member of the channel, Johnny. And I know that you had the Jets getting 11 wins, Johnny. Unfortunately, that's not realistic, but maybe we'll get 10 and we'll still squeak into the playoffs, Johnny. We appreciate that. And happy holidays to you, Johnny. All right, the final call. Who is Abe in the whip?
What up, Abe?
What's good, Abe?
What's up, boys? Damn, I was worried. I wasn't gonna be able to be the last caller or be on the call, but word. But thank you for having me on.
You're the last caller, my man. I had to get you in.
Before I start, I just want to ask Jack: Are you Jack from Jets by Jack, or is that a different Jack?
No, that's not me. That's a different Jack.
Okay, word. Yeah, no, that was such a stressful game to watch. It was just there was so many roller coasters. I'm not gonna sit here and defend Zach Wilson. Like, I'll admit, like, I'm a Zach Wilson fan. I'm not a Zach Wilson stan. I'm not a Zach Wilson truther, because like after that second Patriots game, I just completely stayed off of like any Jets social media, because I knew it was just gonna be toxic and awful. So I was like, you know what? I don't need that.
Oh yeah, tell me about it.
I'm kind of gonna piggyback off of what like some of the previous guys said. So about Omar, like I agree with him. Like, because like it's like the things are clearly there. Like, you know, like he has all the talent, and if he can just put it all together, like, Jesus Christ, we would be so filthy. It's just remarkable. It's just so frustrating how he makes like the hard things look easy and the easy things look impossible. Like I really don't understand how like how he hasn't learned to just take a little bit of zip off the ball, you know, like just know where to put it, you know, like why is it like, and if Joe Flacco supposedly is a quarterback that can do that, why doesn't he just ask Joe Flacco, or get Joe Flacco would be like, hey, like, how do I do that, you know? But you know, but like some people were saying also, like, this loss isn't on him. Granted, like he didn't do enough for us to win, because like there were plenty of throws, you know, that he missed, that was like, why aren't you making that throw? But at the same time,
the thing you got to think about it, in my opinion, is he's part of the reason why they lost, but he's not the reason why. There's a lot of other reasons why.
He's not completely absolved of blame, but I don't agree with all the people that are like, Zach Wilson played fucking terrible, like, bench him right now. Like, dude, no. Like, I just want to ask one thing to the you know, the Mike White truthers. Like, do you think Mike White escapes those sacks and you know, like, and extends the plays? Granted, like I forget who was it that said it. That's not sustainable ball. Clearly, I know that. But Mike White takes those sacks. And then then the line of scrimmage is pushed back. I know Mike White can make the dots, and he can make those layup throws right there. I get that. It's just like I myself would rather a quarterback that can escape and do all that. Like, I don't really want a quarterback that just stands there, like a pro style quarterback stands there and takes the sacks. Maybe once or twice a game he can catch the defense off guard and run away. Like no, like this is like the NFL is changing. The best teams have quarterbacks that can you know, that can play hero ball, that can extend plays, but they also can, you know, stand in the pocket right there and throw darts and throw dots. But about that, though, I will say I did notice that Zach was trying to stand in the pocket. He didn't, you know, he didn't like drop back 12 steps after he felt the pressure. Like, no, I saw some plays where he would take the snap, he would stay right there in the pocket, and as it was like kind of collapsing, he would try to step up. But this turnstile of an offensive line that we have, it was just not giving him any time. And again, to the Mike White people, like, do you think Mike White would do any better behind that offensive line? No, Mike White would probably have to be taken to Hackensack UMC, you know, a few minutes away from MetLife because he got his ribs crushed.
I mean, yeah, we saw, you know, against the Bills, you know, Mike White was getting pressured all game long. He was taking hits. And Mike White's not able to avoid the pressure, like you say. But the one thing I will say that Mike White can do is stand tall and, with pressure in his face, deliver a strike while still taking a hit over the middle of the field. I mean, we've seen Mike White do that, and that's something I have not seen in Zach Wilson's game that I wish he could do. Stand tall in the pocket, pressure in his face, deliver it, and take a hit, and it's still a successful throw down the field. I mean, those throws are really difficult to make. That's not something that's just layup stuff we're talking. And it's like crazy because Zach Wilson's game and Mike White's game are literally polar opposites. And if you just merge them into one, we have a generational quarterback. And that's the biggest issue, man. And I think that, you know, Zach Wilson gives you some things that's flashy and gives you the escapability and the mobility that I love. But if you can't make the easy stuff look easy, that's a struggle. And if you can't stand tall in the pocket, granted, the offensive line's not doing him any favors, but we saw the offensive line struggle against the Bills, where Mike White was getting hit, which results in him being injured, and he's not able to escape the pocket and extend plays, but he's also shows the ability to stand tall, willing to take a hit, deliver it with the hand in his face, and get pressure. And it's just, you can talk about the comparison of Mike White and Zach Wilson all day long because they literally play the game completely different. Jack, what's your overall thoughts about that?
I think we all would like an elusive quarterback that can, throw off schedule and throw cross body and, do everything with the ball. That's what Patrick Mahomes has made every team, want. I just think the fact of the matter is Zach tries to do that and fails. And, I think we'd all prefer an elusive quarterback that can throw the ball from any angle over a more, pocket passer prototype that Mike White is. But the offense moves with Mike White at quarterback, and the offense does not move with Zach Wilson at quarterback. And Zach Wilson is frankly not good at the off-schedule throws. I mean, he made a couple nice passes yesterday, and for every pass he made, I think he missed 2 or 3. So I think that, I'm totally still on the Mike White train after what I saw yesterday especially. I mean, Zach Wilson had at least 10 throws that he wants back yesterday. That could have helped us move the chains, get into position to kick a field goal at multiple points throughout the game. So I get what you're saying with, you want that elusive quarterback. I think, that's pretty standard around the NFL these days, as you said. Every team is looking for that guy who's a dual threat. But we don't have that in Zach Wilson. He's not any sort of threat. So at least Mike White can move the ball downfield, and I'm all in on that.
And the one thing I will say real quick about Zach Wilson that gives me, if I want to see something in his game that gets me some type of like optimism that he can turn into an NFL quarterback, is he can do the hard stuff, which is talent. And that's different. That separates him from other quarterbacks. And what he needs to fix is the easy stuff. It's not like he needs to fix the hard things. He needs to fix the easy stuff. So that should give, some type of optimism to the Jets organization if they do see in Zach Wilson. If we have the right coaching staff and the right developmental opportunity to fix the easy stuff, then he'll get it right. Because what's wrong with Zach is his mind. What's wrong with Zach is his ability to scan the field and make the right throws in the pocket. And because the stuff that he did yesterday was to the point where you're sitting there like, wow, I mean, that was fantastic. What a fantastic throw that was. But the reality is he can't make the easy stuff. And that's the issue, man. The offense lost its rhythm yesterday in terms of just sustainable drives. I mean, all the touchdowns that we had were explosive plays, and I love explosive plays. I mean, 3 plays down, all of a sudden we're in the red zone. I'll take that any day of the week, but unfortunately that's not sustainable. So we'll see. I'm rooting for Zach on Thursday night. He's definitely going to get the gig, and I'm hopeful that he can make strides and learn that he needs to be able to make the easy throws and, score some damn points, because we cannot rely on our defense to win us games anymore, man. It's all about this offense to help us out.
Before we're done, can I just add like 2 points?
Yeah, of course, Abe. Go for it.
So one thing. So I just want to say last thing about Zach Wilson. I miss that Tampa Bay game, Zach. Oh my God, that was his best game of his career. The best game of his career. If he can, and it's coming, and I mean it's coming around the time where he started playing like that. Like that, last year, like comparable to this year, like now is around the time where he started, like playing like a little bit better. I don't know. I'm hoping, because he's definitely gonna get the nod for Thursday, because I doubt on a short week they're gonna clear Mike White like that. So let's just see, and even for the Mike White people, like regardless of who's in at quarterback, why are you trying to make this? Why are you trying to make his life worse? Like why are you trying to make it why are you actively trying to just insult and belittle this guy? Like if this is your team, if you really support this team and you support whoever it is at quarterback, regardless.
I couldn't agree more.
If it happens to be Zach, then lit. If it happens to be Mike White, then word. If it's not either of them, then word. I would like to win. Last thing I would like to add, I definitely won't pin this on the defense. The defense has been very good all year. It was a little frustrating watching them, they bended a little more than usual. Didn't completely break, thank God. It was just kind of frustrating though. I don't know, the Lions just game planned very, very well. And another thing, with special teams, the play has been terrible. Special teams has not been on point these past few weeks, and it's getting me tight. I like Braxton Berrios a lot. I think he's a super cool guy. Like, and you know, I feel like he is kind of a fan favorite. But oh my God, he has just been abysmal these past couple of weeks. And why are we throwing deep shots on second and third down to Braxton Berrios? Like, he's the gadget guy. You give him the end rounds, you give him the jet sweeps, you give him stuff like that. You don't give him 50-50 balls that you'd have to get up and get up and go climb the ladder and grab it, or or burn somebody and use your speed. Like, I know he has speed, but that's like, I just don't think like he's the kind of receiver for that. Like, we have Garrett Wilson, we have Denzel Mims. Honestly, also like pretty shitty play calling on the coaching staff. I will say, like, time clock management just not very good. I don't know what happened. Yeah, it was a total team loss. It was not.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing, man. Everyone's coming in on the call and they all have their own takes on it, but it all comes down to the same point, that team freaking lost. I mean, we can talk about how crappy this was, this was. Well, Abe, I appreciate the lengthy call. You were a great finale to this long, lengthy stream, and stay safe driving, and happy holidays, my man. Have a good rest of your day.
Yo, thank you, Richie. Thank you, Jack. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out, y'all.
No problem, Abe. Peace out, my man. All right, well, a long 2+ hour stream with all you amazing Jets fans coming on here and just letting your emotions speak. So now it's a short week. I don't really know what to expect. Well, I should know what to expect because it's my freaking channel, but my schedule is all different. So let's figure it out. So all 22 film breakdown will be tomorrow. And then Wednesday, we'll probably do the flight preview. And then we'll probably do a double stream on Wednesday, maybe. And then we can do, a game preview stream on Thursday. And then, of course, we got the game day stream Thursday night during the game. So you already know what to expect here on the channel. Will be a lot of consistent stuff coming your way. Film breakdown tomorrow. So, Jack, anything you'd like to add before we finish up the stream?
I think I've said everything I could possibly say over the last hour plus that I've been on here with you. But what I will say to all you guys in the chat, and to you as well, Rich, for the first time, is that I will be joining for the stream on Thursday night for the first time all season, which is
breaking news.
I'm very excited for that.
You can be my color guy. I need some help, man.
Yeah,
one-man show is hard to talk
prime time.
3 hours alone.
It's prime time. We're gonna do it up. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna bring that ring light up to the living room, maybe. I hope that would be chill. I'm just kind of putting this on Richie right now.
Thinking of doing that anyway because it's through Amazon Prime, and I can't get access to Prime. I don't know. That's a whole technical conversation. I don't need to have.
So that works out then. That works out.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely looking forward to that, and it better be a win. So we'll see what happens.
All right. So Jack and myself will be live during the entire game Thursday night. So mark down your schedule, click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you get notified when we go live. It's going to be prime time. It's going to be the world watching. And, oh, man, it's going to be something. It's going to be something special. So appreciate all you guys tuning into the show. Love you guys. I know that this is a very disappointing time, 3 straight losses, but we still have a chance at the playoffs. And 7-7 record, we're at 500, and let's hope it all starts Thursday. We cannot talk about winning 3 straight until we win a freaking game. So let's focus on Thursday. Let's take care of business, and let's prove to the world that we're a squad.
I love it.
Garrett Wilson's a good player, and Robert Saleh's a good coach, and Zach Wilson can do enough to help us win. And Quinnen Williams gets 4 sacks, and Sauce Gardner picks off Trevor Lawrence.
We're going to fire Smash or Shamat, whatever his name is, later for him.
Fire Smash for telling him to not call a timeout at that situation.
Like, what's up with that, dude? Oh, man. All right. Okay.
All right, man. Appreciate you guys.
Peace out, everybody. Let's go.